Change the gravity fruit to tease the school flower. Chapter 46. At the same time, a major event also happened in Longguo Yangcheng. The members of the ghost organization found out that Sally had eaten the devil fruit. The purpose of sending people to kill Sally's family is very simple, to make Sally angry and go to seek revenge from them. In this way, before Sally's strength has grown, she can come over and let them kill her. In fact, the dragon group also sent people to protect them, but the other party was too fast, basically a silent assassination. They were killed before they reported, and 2 members of the dragon team also died. Of course, many people died on the side of ghosts and gods, and they left behind evidence that they were ghosts and gods. In one night, it was wiped out. The people of the Sally family all thought that Sally would glorify their ancestors this time, but it brought disaster to the family. No one knows how the ghosts and gods did it, or everyone who knew was killed. This is also the negligence of the dragon team, so that the family members of the new team members were targeted, and even came to be completely wiped out. After they fell, the various families in Yangcheng also fought for their resources. There are constant family-to-family skirmishes. As a result, the law and order in Yangcheng is not as stable as before. Sally, who heard the news at the Longzhou base, cried bitterly, but was locked up, and worried that she would go to die recklessly, and fell into the enemy's scheme. And ghosts and gods, after doing it, they hide in various places, it is very difficult to find. Sally couldn't stand Longzhou treating her like this, and refused to help her avenge, nor let herself avenge herself. My heart is full of resentment, and the irrationality in my heart is completely occupied. This time, like before, she thought of her own people. Then I slowly developed hatred for Land Rover. If it wasn't for him to exchange the fruits, the clansmen would not have been completely wiped out. It's all because of him. He was the one who saved her back then, but now he is the one who caused the genocide to be wiped out. A direct leap from heaven to hell for one's feelings. The competition in the society did not affect the operation of the school. At this time, high schools are in the process of graduation and promotion, and Yangcheng Middle School is also in progress. The ranking is based on the strength of the fruit's ability and the strength of the battle. The first fruit ability strength is to activate a skill in a secret room, and you can check the score of the skill. The second is the battle ranking. The elites are basically within 100. Of course, there will be individual upsets. The battle arrangement is similar to the ranking of billiards schrock. Some battles are peaceful and some battles are fierce. Xiao Yu held Lu Rover's arm and said, "Let's go out, don't you guys have to go through graduation procedures too? I'll go with you too, and I want to see your school, the orphanage where you grew up. See who your teacher, the principal, and the director of the orphanage are, and why they teach you so well." Quote. It's just a process for Lu Rover to go back to school. He still has to go to a secret land that only uses physical skills and a foreign secret land that only uses physical skills. Lan only thinks about revenge. The 3 of them came out of the secret realm and walked slowly, and the 2 girls still had a bracelet on their hands. Lan Xing appeared in front of them. It stands to reason that she should be busy now, but because of the strength of Land Rover, she felt that it was more important to come and invite Land Rover to join the dragon group. Xiao Yu, how are you doing? Of course I can learn it well. And it has become even better, maybe I will be better than you soon. The 2 sisters chatted immediately. Land Rover saw a few familiar faces and said hello, but the other party responded politely, and then took the initiative to say hello to the 2 girls. What's the matter? It seems that they think that the 2 girls have saved the crisis in the secret realm of Yangcheng. When you are a green leaf. My mother, fortunately, I want to keep a low profile. Okay, let's go back to school first. Finish the matter first. So they went to school. The teacher of Yangcheng University on the side is the one who is a member of Hades. People who are responsible for preventing ghosts and gods from entering the secret realm to do things, so here, there are no people who chase ghosts and gods. I saw the 3 of them walking out side by side, with Hua Lanlin from Yangcheng Middle School, and the other girl from Sun Zonghai, who is also an elite of Capital University. After investigation in the past few days, he found out that the reason why Song Wei of the Song family became like this was because he went to the secret place of Yangcheng to vent his anger on Land Rover. Song Quan, patriarch of the Song family, never came out after entering the Yangcheng secret realm. He could also guess that he was probably dead. Otherwise, it's impossible for him not to come out for such a long time and ignore the family affairs. If he is really dead, it is very likely that Land Rover did it. And when they went back to school just now, these two girls were listening to him, as if they were his little followers. He also knew that Land Rover must have made a move in that battle, and that the repairing skills and the earthquake must have something to do with him. Although it is a little bit unbelievable. But this is what he investigated. More than an hour later, a group of 4 people came to the school. Lan Xing also insisted on following, but she had a special status. Looking at it from a distance, although she followed, she couldn't afford to lose this person. After all, she had a special status. She was the instructor of the dragon group, so it's not appropriate to swagger. Land Rover. You're almost graduating, so you don't know you're coming back, brat. Do you know how much I worry about you during this time? It seems that there are beauties in the secret place to accompany you, and you forget about the outside. Quote. Seeing Lu Rover, the new headmaster said out of anger, and said after seeing the 2 beauties behind him. Lanlin, why did you live with this stinky boy? Did Lu Rover bully you? I'll beat him up. No, if I remember correctly, you are Logia snow fruit. He shouldn't be able to bully you either. Quote. The new principal raised his fist and went to beat Lu Rover, so as to solve the anger during this period of time. Lu Rover didn't hide either, with a posture of laying down and beating and scolding, which made the principal a little embarrassed to kill him. I don't know that I came 2 days earlier, and now the graduation practice is over. The principal said angrily. Lan said at this time, it's okay, we didn't plan to participate in any actual combat, we came here for graduation. What? You don't participate in the rules of graduation and enter a higher school, do you just graduate like this? Lanlin, you are Logia, it's okay to say, I heard you right, you are talking about you, but he ate the gravity fruit, right? It is very difficult to get a university after graduation if you do not participate in graduation promotions. Quote. The headmaster was stunned. Yes, headmaster. We are here for graduation. After graduation, you can join the army. From then on, you will go out to kill the enemy. Those who violate our dragon kingdom will be punished even if they are far away. Quote. Let's talk about whether to join the army or not, first convince the principal first. But Lanlin and Xiao Yu were too passionate when they heard this. If Lu Rover joins the army and shoots a few meteorites at the enemy on the battlefield, the other party will give a shit. Whoever comes will be smashed. Join the army. Joining the army is fine, it's better than being in school. You need to know what's going on now. Many people on the internet still don't believe that you exchanged gravity fruits. God knows if those ghost and god organizations hiding in the dark to assassinate our dragon kingdom elites will attack you. And they have wiped out all of Sally's family, of course, they also paid some price. After this incident, we also have too many people protecting the orphanage in the dark. They didn't attack the people in the orphanage, so they probably knew that Sally had eaten the phantom beast fruit. Quote. What? The Sally family was wiped out. Isn't the dragon group also protected by someone? I was shocked to hear the yelling here, and I also have a lot of questions. People from the dragon group also ate, but the ghost and god organization also paid a lot of price. This is the rhythm of making up their minds and killing Sally. They dispatched a few great masters, and judging from the battle traces, it is estimated that there are 2 Logias. Quote. After hearing it, she was silent for a while, and Xiao Yu spoke. Hello, principal. It's been a long time since I came in and I haven't said hello to you. I am Sun Xiao Yu, the daughter of Sun Zonghai, and the current girlfriend of Land Rover. As for his safety, my grandson's family can take responsibility. Quote. My dear, does Land Rover still need someone to protect its strength? Whoever caused him trouble would probably die. Sun Xiao Yu. Sun Zonghai's daughter. The headmaster was shocked. Grass Nima. How did this brat hook up with the jewel in the palm of the Sun family? Is it because he is handsome? No wonder I haven't come out for so long, accompanied by beautiful women. Where did you get your luck, brat? There are 2 big beauties around. And there is shit luck in this luck. Grass Mud Horse. If it is really Sun Zonghai's daughter, Then Land Rover is equivalent to flying on a branch and turning into a phoenix, and then directly enters Sun Zonghai's army, not just being an officer casually. No wonder he said he wanted to join the army. But the new headmaster still wants to make sure. Asked suspiciously, "Are you really the daughter of Sun Zonghai in the capital? The jewel in the palm of the Sun family?" "Don't doubt, she is my cousin and Sun Zonghai's daughter." At this time, Lan Xing flew over and said, "It seems that Blue Star has now used the development moves recommended by Land Rover very smoothly." Blue instructor. The principal was a little confused, and the people from the Zhejiang team also came over. Then he looked at Lu Rover and asked seriously, "Lu Rover, Lan, have you really decided?" Lan Xing has already shown up, so Xiao Yu's identity can't be faked. The safety of Land Rover is guaranteed, so there is no need to worry about anything. Yes. Land Rover said affirmatively. Lan also said. "Okay, I'll help you with the procedures later, you can go and pack your things at school." The principal sees his persistent attitude, is there any other way besides agreeing? After all, both Xiao Yu and Langsing have come out. Seeing that the principal promised Lan Xing to hide again, the reason why she came here was also selfish. She also wanted Land Rover to join Sun Zonghai's army. "Principal, I will trouble you. By the way, this is the life-saving necklace you gave me back then. And here are 20 spirit fruits and 20 beast hearts. Thanks you. Then let's go to the classroom and dormitory first." Quote. Land Rover said with a hippie smile and left immediately after putting down his things. Before the principal had time to say anything, he scolded this brat in his heart. The distance to the classroom and dormitory is neither short nor long. The three of them walked side by side in the campus like this, immediately attracting many eyes. "Hey, isn't that a Land Rover? Isn't that the school flower Lanlan? Why did they walk together? Yes, how come? Look, it's not just Lanlan. The other girl is too pretty. What the hell? I gave the phantom beast species to Sally. Now I have not only attracted the school girl, but also a very beautiful girl. How did he do that? Is that how he can flirt? Is he a master flirt? It seems to be right, this dragon claw hand is really a trick of a master seductress." Through the spread of the exchange of phantom beast fruit, not to mention the entire dragon kingdom, even abroad, many people know about Land Rover, not to mention the school he is in. And the school flower Lanlan is known by many people in the school. Seeing that there is not only the school flower Lanlan beside him, but also a beautiful woman who is comparable to him, everyone can't help but sigh in their hearts that I am awesome, and what's more, they are going to take pictures and put the photos of Land Rover next to their beds to worship. There are also individual gangsters. "You are so handsome, aren't you? Awaken to the phantom beast devil fruit, you are awesome. Hey, isn't that Chen Sen from class 13? They collided, and there was a good show to watch." Quote. Chen Sen, it seems that he is the one who scolded Lu Rover the most on the internet recently. He also said that as long as Lu Rover shows up at school, he will be beaten up to teach him a lesson. At this time, a young man who was half a head shorter than him, with a sinister face and disdain for everything, came in front of the Land Rover. It was Chen Sen from class 13. For Land Rover, awaken the phantom beast devil fruit and then exchange it, and immediately enter the secret realm of Yangcheng after the exchange. Another comment appeared, that is, Land Rover was afraid of death and being targeted by people from the ghost organization, so he switched to hide. People who didn't believe in exchanging fruit before saw this reason and gradually believed it. Moreover, some foreign comments directly stepped on the dragon country, and the elites who awakened the phantom beasts were so afraid of death. It turns out that the elites of the dragon kingdom are all such cowards. They are afraid of death and dare not eat even the phantom beast devil fruit. Because most people who don't believe it, see this comment and feel that it is very credible, and it becomes a so-called fact, as it spreads more and more slowly. Due to the influence of Land Rover, the elites of Longguo were looked down upon so much, many people held a grudge against him, and there were also many passionate elites who wanted to teach Land Rover a lesson. The one in the school who screams the loudest and wants to teach Lu Rover the most is Chen Sen. Because he published an article on the school's internet, if Land Rover appears at the school, everyone will notify Chen Sen, and he will hit him every time he sees him. Many people in the school know it. The people from Class 15 even got involved with the people from Class 13. Lou Rover's tablemate wanted to find someone to beat him up. If it wasn't for Lou Rover, he wouldn't know when Longguo would awaken another Phantom Beast ability user. In the graduate promotion competition that just ended, he got the top 15 rankings, and deliberately mocked. Land Rover, who is greedy for life and afraid of death, doesn't even dare to appear in the graduate promotion competition. And now the two are on the same page. The students who just saw the beauties were all excited. Now it's really a good show to watch. Hey, come here quickly. There's a good show to watch. There's a good show going on here. What fun. Isn't that the Land Rover who awakened the Phantom Beast fruit from Class 15 is back? He just bumped into Chen Sen from Class 13, you know what Chen Sen said before. Quote. Hurry up, notify more people. Okay. I'll post the information on Xiaonei immediately. There are already many students in the third year of high school who are discussing around, and they also inform their roommates or brothers to come and see. There are also many lower grades who also come to enjoy the fun. There are more and more classmates, and there are individual teachers, and the teachers of their two classes are also there. At this time, Lou Rover was introducing the situation of the school to Xiao Yu. What is here, what is there? Don't care about the situation of the students at all. In the eyes of those students, they just regarded Chen Sen as an heir. Chen Sen saw Land Rover. Also saw Lanlan and Xiao Yu beside Lou Rover. His eyebrows moved slightly, and he was shocked. What shocked Lanlan and Xiao Yu was their looks and figures, and at the same time wondered why Land Rover was so afraid of death. Will attract such a beautiful girl. Maybe it's jealousy, a man's competitive spirit. The dislike for Land Rover in my heart has deepened unknowingly. Soon the two will meet. Perhaps say. Chen Sen deliberately directly blocked the way of the Land Rover. However, the road is still wide. Land Rover ignored him and didn't bother with him. Just take them to the side. However, Chen Sen was going to block it. At this time, Land Rover frowned and looked down. See that face full of jealousy and disdain for everything. Fortunately, passing by today is in a good mood, so I don't care about him, so I said, this classmate, please let me go. Walking around the campus with two beauties, I'm in a great mood. Look, the road is blocked. It's time to do it. 666, it seems to be here. That's right. You see, Chen Sen has taken the initiative to provoke them. But what's going on with this Land Rover? What kind of luck did he have? There are these two beauties beside me, isn't that Lan from our class? Quote. Yes, it's Lan. Oh my god, school flower Lanlan is still next to Lou Rover. This day is too unfair. However, Land Rover is a good example for our school. Awaken to the Phantom Beast Devil Fruit, adding a Phantom Beast to our country. What is Chen Sen going to do? If he fights Land Rover, the school leaders will not let him go. Even if the school leaders let him go, the leaders of Yangcheng will not let him go. Quote. Hehe. Chen Sen's graduation grade is now in the top 15. The leaders of such an elite school and the leaders of Yangcheng probably won't offend him. Besides, even if offended, Chen Sen still has a background. Isn't the reason why he dares to be so arrogant because of his powerful background? Didn't you see that classmate named Du Chang from class 15 who worked for Land Rover was sent to the hospital by him, but he was fine. Not even a punishment. Quote. So there is such a thing. I see. Just when Land Rover looked down at him, observation hockey unfolded by the way. Although noisy, but also know what happened. At this time, Chen Sen also spoke. These two beautiful classmates. It's just that he didn't talk to Lou Rover, but saw two beautiful girls beside him. He has already determined that Lou Rover is afraid of death, so he exchanged the fruit and entered the secret realm of Yangcheng. The corners of his mouth were raised slightly, revealing a professional smirk. Hello, I wonder if you were deceived by him. Have you been fooled by his clever tricks and sweet words? Next, I will let you see clearly what kind of person he is. Quote. The two of them don't have observation hockey, so I don't know what's going on. What the hell? Land Rover sweet talk. What kind of person is Land Rover? He never used sweet words at all, okay. Xiao Yu's temper came, and then her mind changed. Thinking that this guy is looking for death, he immediately pretended to be waiting for a good show and said, really? So he is a liar. Lan Lan continued, how are you going to let us see that he is a liar? Just kidding, Land Rover gave them so many things in the secret realm, what do you want from yourself? Lu Rover. Chen Sen looked at Lu Rover and said, at first I thought you liked Sally from class 14, and thought you were crazy about love, and then exchanged the fruit with her. It turned out that you were afraid of being targeted by ghost organizations. You were afraid of your own life before exchanging fruits, you are a guy who is afraid of death. Foreign countries have been laughing at us, so I really want to beat you up. But I am afraid that I will dirty my hands by beating you. Quote. Chen Sen opened his legs and continued in a gloomy manner, don't you want to go through here? If you want to go there, you can. Come. Get past me, Chen Sen. Otherwise, let me beat you. Quote. Lu Rover didn't expect that all the Sally people were wiped out, and then it developed to become the reason why I was afraid of death. Phantom Beast Devil Fruit exchanged this thing. He thought that he would let them talk about it at most, and it would be over with a smile, and it would be forgotten in a month. Didn't expect it to have such a big impact. Chen Sen, right. I didn't expect that the people from the ghost organization would kill the Sally family members. But I just heard that you sent my classmate Du Chang to the hospital because of me. Quote. Land Rover said calmly. This classmate Du Chang really has nothing to say, he can really get into such a verbal dispute. But it's just a lack of self-knowledge, until it's not enough to fight back. In other words, there is that momentum, the momentum to hold injustice for the brothers. Chen Sen remembered that the one who bullied others before was a snicker and said, you said the tall and thin guy who complained for you, his name is Du Chang. But that kid is really good enough. Although he is quite taller than me, he rushed up and wanted to hit me. Unfortunately, he was too weak, so I gave him a headbutt. I didn't expect to be sent to the hospital. It should be quite serious. But also because he did it first, so I don't even have to pay for medical expenses. Did you say you made him angry? Why don't you go and see him? Quote. Land Rover hears it, keyword. He shot first. Lu Rover smiled calmly and said, I just heard that your graduation grades are in the top 15, right? How about this, for the sake of these two beauties, I will pretend to be aggressive. Now. Immediately. Immediately. Get under my crotch, and I can still forgive you for what you did to Du Chang, as if nothing happened. In this way, at least you are still a top student in the school, and you are still in the top 15. Still the elite of our school. What do you think? Quote. Hearing Lu Rover's words, Chen Sen was stunned. Why did these two beauties make him pretend to be aggressive? He never thought that if he would say something like this to him. As for thinking that I heard it wrong. Chen Sheng dug his ears and said, what? Say it again, I didn't hear clearly. And Lu Rover continued to speak slowly. I said, in front of these two beautiful girls. You bark twice like a dog, and then get under my crotch. Make me happy, and I will forgive you for what you did to Du Chang. What do you think? Is it reasonable and cost-effective? Quote. Land Rover saw that he pretended not to understand, so he continued to add a sentence like a dog barking. Sure enough, it disgusted it directly, let him make the first move. You're courting death. Chen Sen got angry directly, no one talked to him like this when he was so old, and dared to insult him like a dog barking his crotch like this. What's more, it's still the Lu Rover he despises the most, that man who is greedy for life and afraid of death. Can't bear it. I can't bear it. He clenched his fist and pointed it directly at Land Rover's face. Lu Rover grinned and said, as you can see, it was he who made the first move. Seeing this, Land Rover put his hands in his pockets and stretched out his right leg. Crack. A crash sounded. Immediately afterwards, Chen Sen's body flew out in a U shape at an extremely fast speed. It flew directly to the wall of more than 100 meters. Boom. In the end, he slammed into the wall fiercely, and saw the Qiancheng mesh line split. And he got stuck there with his butt exposed there, unable to come down. Lu Rover smiled slightly. Call him an ambulance. Lu Rover continued to take them to his classroom as if nothing had happened. The students around who looked at the pretty girls were shocked. What? Just a kick. Chen Sen was kicked by Land Rover. And it's the kind that kicks away. My god. One kick flew so far. It should be more than that. If there is no wall, I don't know how far I can fly. Nima, Didn't he eat the fruit of the phantom beast? How could he have such great power? How did he do it? Chen Sen is an elite in the top 15. Land Rover, who ate the fruit of gravity, is so powerful. With one kick, Chen Sen was kicked and stuck on the wall. That's right, it's just a kick, and it directly gave the top 15 elites a second. This is too exaggerated. Look over there. Chen Sen, this is too miserable. Still stuck on the wall. Butt sticking out over there. My asterisk hurts just thinking about it. Look at his head and feet now. Quick, call an ambulance. My god, he kicked Land Rover this time and passed out. Walking over and seeing the unconscious Chen Sen said. The students who were eating melons around were shocked. But watching a play is still good. It deserves it. Let him think that Land Rover is afraid of death. Land Rover has at least contributed a Phantom Beast capable user to Longguo. No matter how to exchange it, this Phantom Beast is still in the hands of Longguo. It's none of his business, Chen Senator. It is estimated that ghosts and gods organized those people to guide them on the internet. He was so stupid to be influenced by others, and he was used as a gun against his own people like this. Yeah, it should be facing foreigners, you idiot. Students who eat melons are talking about it. Land Rover is useless observation hockey. Didn't continue to listen to what they said. Of course he doesn't care what they say. He just kicked just now, and he still controlled the strength, otherwise. It can really kick him into the first body separation. Sanji's legs are not for nothing. Lanlin is back, and she's still with Lu Rover. Since Lanlin awakened Devil Fruit, she recently went to the secret realm of Yangcheng, and she just came out now. Then isn't she really strong? I don't know, I didn't do anything. She will come back to the classroom and ask later. There are students in Lan's class discussing it. In the classroom of class 15, senior 3, where Land Rover is located. Land Rover is back. Just came back and was walking back to the class. And kicked Chen Sen on the way. What? Are you kidding me? Land Rover kicked Chen Sen. Yes. You came back late. Just now I knew that the Land Rover was blocked by Chen Sen, and I was going to help the Land Rover out of the siege, but when I saw it, Chen Sen was kicked and flew directly into the wall. That means the voice of the ambulance is going to pick up Chen Sen. It must be, he was stuck in the wall just now and couldn't move. My god, is Land Rover so scary now? So powerful. That's right, I said that a person who can awaken the fruit of the Phantom Beast is a person who is afraid of death. Right. I also said that he must have hidden something before, otherwise how could he have awakened the Phantom Beast Devil Fruit? Otherwise, why is he the only one awakened in the whole country? And it has been in the past few years. That's very relieved, and I finally helped Du Chang get revenge. That's right. I finally hit back this tone. Just a few days ago, Du Chang couldn't see him, so he rushed up. It was because of the first strike that he got a miserable end. In fact, the teacher also wanted to do it at that time, but the other party's teacher was also there. They didn't go together and caused a gang fight. The anger that was suffocating in my heart is finally relieved now. I really didn't expect Land Rover to come back today. Just kicked Chen Sen and kicked him into the hospital. Helping their class get angry, it can be said that he got angry for himself. Just don't be too cool. At the same time, in the classroom of class 13, senior 3. Lu Rover is too despicable. Chen Sen hasn't even transformed. So he took advantage of it. This is definitely a sneak attack. Otherwise, how could Chen Sen lose? This Land Rover is really rubbish. Is he in the dormitory or in the classroom now? I'll go there right away and challenge him one-on-one. How do you think I sent him to the hospital? The boys in class 13 who played better with Chen Sen are now complaining about Chen Sen, and are already very angry. I'm about to rush out of the classroom to class 15, see if Land Rover is there. As soon as I rushed out of the door, I saw class 15, a group of people blocked me here. This group of people must have guessed that they would trouble Land Rover in the past, so now they are blocked here. Lu Rover and Lan packed things very quickly, just put them all in the space bag, but of course Lan will have some memories. After all, he lived here too. When the three of them walked towards the classroom, they saw that people from the two classes were already confronting each other. The people from class 14 in the middle didn't come out, so they were watching a show in their own class. This also warmed Lu Rover's heart. Since he arrived here, he hasn't spoken a few words to anyone in his class at all. However, his good brother Du Chang was sent to the hospital because of him. Now these students in the class come out together. Block the people from class 13 out for myself. Lu Rover came over, smiled and said, "Old Huang, long time no see, what are you all doing here?" Land Rover. How are you doing in the secret realm of Yangcheng these days? I can't find you, and why doesn't your phone respond to a message? I heard from them that you just kicked Chen Sen from class 13 away, and the hospital you kicked directly into is so powerful now. It seems that the Yangcheng secret realm has improved a lot. Class 15 students are very happy. Land Rover is a little embarrassed to see that they miss themselves so much. Yes, after awakening. In order to protect me, the principal insisted on letting me go to the secret realm of Yangcheng, and I didn't come out until today. As soon as I came out, I ran back to the school, and I haven't gone back to the orphanage to have a look. Quote. There is no signal in the secret realm. When he said that, the other students understood it. Especially now that all of Sally's family has been wiped out by the ghost organization. I can also understand that the principal did this to protect Land Rover. It's no wonder that Lu Rover didn't reply to their messages for so long, didn't go back to school for so long, and didn't even come back for graduation and promotion. People in class 13 heard them say that Land Rover is so strong. Immediately said directly, "Why is it so strong? Land Rover is engaged in a sneak attack, and you still say that it is so strong, how shameless." So many people present have seen that Chen Sen hasn't turned into a beast yet. The people in class 15 are not happy. Let go of your stinky fart. He doesn't change his body first, it's none of the Land Rover's business. And which eye did you see the Land Rover sneak attack? How many of you were there at the time? Didn't you see whoever made the first move? How dare you push Lai Lai so hard? Old Huang from class 15 couldn't see what they said, and said directly angrily, "But I was there and saw it clearly, it was Chen Sen who made the first move. You guys still say that Land Rover is engaging in sneak attacks, you are the ones who are shameless." Quote. Hee, you are from class 15, you must say that. All of a sudden, the people in the two classes started to quarrel. Land Rover was a little speechless, just wanted to speak up to stop it. At this time, the class teachers of both classes came. The head teacher is here. It just so happened that the two of them walked side by side from the office. That aura and momentum. In an instant, they automatically retreated a few points. The space has become larger. What? I'm about to graduate. We still have to gather and fight, right? You have to cause damage to the school before you graduate, right? Quote. Yes, they are graduating soon. And they have tension. Perhaps this is the power of the head teacher. Even Land Rover has the feeling of being caught doing bad things. Everyone bowed their heads obediently without saying a word. The head teacher of class 13 took the lead in saying, "Student Lu Rover, yes." As soon as he came back, Chen Sen from our class was sent to the hospital. It seems that you don't want to go to college, do you? Quote. Land Rover's homeroom teacher smiled at this time. Oh, you really hit the spot. This kid just handed in his graduation application to the headmaster, and the headmaster said that this kid is going to join the army after graduation. He really doesn't want to go to college anymore. Quote. The students in class 15 wanted to laugh when they heard it, and they hated the head teacher of class 13 when they saw their head teacher like this. It can be seen that my homeroom teacher is also unhappy about Du Cheng being beaten. Now class 15 can be said to be of one mind. The head teacher of class 13 looked a little ugly. Oh, so I'm going to join the army, yes. In your current situation, you beat people into the hospital every now and then, so it should be better to join the army. Land Rover stood up at this time, took a few steps forward and said, "This class teacher of class 13. As the person involved, I must correct you and explain it to my classmates, so as to prevent everyone from making random guesses. Misunderstand. I came here to go through the graduation procedures, and said that joining the army is only one of the options. But there are more important things to do. To be honest, I heard the secret message that Capital University welcomes me anytime. As for what you said, hitting people at every turn. This statement. There were so many people present at that time, Everyone can testify for me, blocking my way and beating me. It was Chen Sen who took the initiative to do it first. I was just defending myself a little bit, and kicked out casually, but I didn't expect that Chen Sen in your class is so weak. Seeing that he is so arrogant, he should have some strength, but it is a pity that he never expected that he is so weak. You can kick a dog that far, can't you? Quote. Land Rover. You. The students in class 13 couldn't help but want to scold back, and their head teacher also had a gloomy face. And the students in class 15 were shocked that Lu Rover dared to speak like this to the head teacher of class 13. But I couldn't be happier. The feeling in my heart is so cool. I will also bear it silently and hold back my laughter. The head teacher of class 15 wanted to applaud, but what he showed was that you continued to have nothing to do with me. That's right, they are graduating soon. After a few days of leisure, he went on summer vacation to play. The headmaster just asked him to come over, don't let them have a gang fight and cause a bad influence in the school. He doesn't care about other things. The head teacher of class 13 sneered and said, Student Lu Rover, do you know who Chen Sen is? In this way, it means that Chen Sen has a strong background. You put people in the hospital now, and when you leave school. Oh, who is he? All I know is that he kicked my brother Du Cheng into the hospital, so I want to kick him into the hospital too. And all I know about him is, he's so stupid. I don't have much strength, and I still follow the comments on the internet, and don't use my own brain to think about it. And he was so self-righteous, he came to trouble me so arrogantly, do you think he is as stupid as a pig? By the way, who is he still? Quote. Land Rover said curiously and questioningly. Lu Rover asked arrogantly like this. Not to mention that the people in class 13 are already furious, even the students in class 15 feel that Land Rover is a little strange. Of course, Lu Rover dared to be so arrogant because he just learned from hockey that when Du Cheng was beaten, the head teacher of class 13 was also present. As a class teacher, he could obviously stop the fight, but he just watched Du Cheng get seriously injured like this. He is a people's teacher. How could he see the students like this? So Land Rover is really hard to understand. You are not a qualified people's teacher, so I don't need to give you respect. This is Land Rover's evaluation of him. Lu Rover, I want to challenge you, you are too much. Someone from class 13 stood up. Challenges in the school are allowed and can promote better development. The people in class 15 saw this guy come out and said mockingly, who are you? You are not even as good as Chen Sen. Are you worthy? At this time, the first brother from class 13 came out and said, then am I worthy or not? Among the 15 classes, Zhou Fan, the first brother of class 13, ranked 8th in the whole grade in the competition for graduation and promotion. And the 1st to 7th places are all in other classes. In other words, he is the first in class 13. I am ranked 8th in this graduation promotion competition, am I worthy of challenging your Land Rover? Zhou Fan came out and looked at Land Rover coldly and asked. Not worthy. Land Rover said calmly. The head teacher of class 13 snorted, this is the student you teach. He is obviously afraid of death and dare not fight, but he wants to say that he is not worthy. Really made me laugh. Quote. The head teacher of class 15 also became a little ugly when he heard this sentence. But how could Lu Rover embarrass his head teacher? So he said, it's not impossible to accept his challenge. I just have a question I want to ask you as the head teacher of class 13. If you answer me, I will accept his challenge and let you in class 13 have the opportunity to join me. Find your so-called face here. How about it? What's the problem? You ask. I heard that when Du Cheng in our class was beaten by Chen Sen, the teacher was there, but he didn't stop him. Instead, he just watched Du Cheng get seriously injured. Why? As soon as this question came up, everyone knew why Land Rover was so arrogant to him and didn't give him any sympathy. I was actually there at the time. Student Du Cheng came to cause trouble. Student Chen Sen wanted to teach him a lesson. I stopped him, but student Chen Sen said he had his own sense of propriety, so I was lazy. It's just that Chen Sen and I didn't expect Du Cheng to be so weak. Chen Sen just punched him, and he. The teacher seemed dissatisfied with Land Rover's disrespect just now, so he said this on purpose. It turned out to be like this. Land Rover nodded deeply, indicating that he understood. HMPH. He looked at all the students in class 13 with a smirk and said, I know he's not the only one in your class who is upset with me and wants to beat me up. Now I'm giving you this chance. You see I'm upset and want to beat me up. Just come out, I'll take them all. Also save one by one. Of course. This teacher, if you want to come over and give me some advice, I will be more than happy to accept it. Land Rover finally took a provocative look at the head teacher of class 13. Lou Rover, don't go too far, don't be so arrogant. He cursed immediately. Okay, then I'll try to keep a low profile. Lou Rover showed a cowardly look. The head teacher of class 13 said, haha, if you want to get my guidance, it's not impossible for you. Let's beat the first brother in our class first. Although I don't remember how many ranks the first brother in your class ranked. Quote. The scene was filled with the smell of proper gunpowder. In this way, a large group of people walked to the battle platform, watching the lively class 14 and some students who eat melons. What's more, spread the news and share it with your friends and internet. It's talking about exchanging ideas with each other, but no one knows what's going on inside. Joe Fan from class 13 is going to challenge Land Rover. Go to the battle platform to watch a show. When? Now. Yes, now. Go, immediately. When I went to the battle platform, it was already full of people. There are students and teachers, and some are preparing to record with a video recorder. This is an above-board opportunity to expose Land Rover's use of the gravity fruit. It seems that the principal doesn't really care about him at all. Land Rover team Xiao Yu and Lan Lan jumped onto the stage after saying a few words, looked in the direction of class 13 and shouted, you guys go up together, anyone who is upset with me wants to beat me up. I don't want to waste time. Then a group of surging people moved forward a little bit. Joe Fan also jumped up and said coldly, I'll talk about it after I hit you. The best in your class didn't make it to the top 20. How dare you say let's go together? All right. Then what ability are you? Need to transform, how to prepare, hurry up. Wait a minute, if there is no chance to use it, don't say I am sneak attacking. Quote. Land Rover said with a smile. I hope you can still laugh after a while. After finishing speaking, he turned into a beast directly. Cat fruit ancient species jaguar form. It directly turned into a jaguar, and its size doubled in an instant. After changing, it rushed over to see the Land Rover attacking. It turned out to be an ancient species of jaguar. It's not too much to get in the top 8. The combination of explosive power and strength. Seeing the leopard rushing towards him, Lou Rover slowly shook his head and smiled. Xiao Yu and Lan Lan also shook their heads. Focus on Joe Fan with knowledge and knowledge. Just now there is a friend from class 13 who took a step forward, and there is also a class teacher in class 13. Boom. On the battle platform, there was a sound, and then the position of the 13th squad below the stage also made sounds one after another. On the way the jaguar rushed over, it suddenly knelt on the battle platform, kneeling on all 4 feet. Displeased students from class 13 also knelt on the ground, as did their class teacher. Then Land Rover closed his eyes and tried harder, and the jaguar flew directly out of the position of the students in class 13. Boom. Immediately afterwards, the head teacher of class 13 also flew over. The jaguar and the head teacher of class 13 flew over and smashed into a ball, rolling together hard, and they were all stuck to the ground. It all happened in an instant. The sound was very similar, just like setting off firecrackers. Everyone was dumbfounded. The ancient species of jaguar knelt down in front of the enemy before it attacked the enemy, and was thrown by the enemy on the classmates of the same camp before it touched the enemy. Even the head teacher of class 13 was hurt by this move. The battle was over before it even started, and all the enemies of Land Rover were lying on the ground, unable to move. This is the strength of Land Rover. Is this the strength of the fruit of gravity? Is it so powerful? He's not hurt at all, and his enemies can't touch him. Is this the ability of gravity fruit? The ability to prepare fruits is so powerful. Lou Rover walked towards them slowly, and said mockingly, fortunately, you just look at me and want to beat me up. Didn't you want to kill me? Do you think it's hard for me to kill you now? Quote. This trick is very familiar. It is Fujitora's move. Directly increase the weight of the human body so that it is close to the ground. Faced with Lu Rover's ridicule, none of them had anything to say, or they dared not say anything. The new headmaster, who watched the battle silently from behind, asked directly after seeing it, "Is this really the ability of the fruit of gravity?" He was extremely shocked in his heart, and seemed to understand why the gravity fruit should be exchanged. Understand why Lanlin and Xiao Yu want to follow him. I took a fancy to Land Rover. The reaction of the students who eat melons has come. Ah. Is this the end? Lu Rover is really a person who singled out him to see his displeasure. And he surrounded them all by himself. My god, I just turned on the machine, and it's over before I have time to shoot. The classmate holding the camera was a little confused, it was too fast. What actually happened? If it seems that there is no action. What just happened? Look at the classmates who are also confused around. He doesn't know what to say anymore. Did you just see it? They all knelt on the ground first, and then were thrown together. It seems that the ability of the gravity fruit directly kneeled them on the ground. Is it so powerful? How long have you not eaten it? Can this develop the ability of the fruit of gravity to this extent? How about controlling such a large group of people? That's right, do you know that before the gravity fruit ability user could only control one helicopter, that's why he was rated as A level, but now he controls so many people. This development intensity is so slippery. The students watching the show on the battle stage were stunned. I was really dumbfounded by Land Rover's operation. Lu Rover looked down at them and said, "Since you said that I want to beat you, I will say it, but your strength is not worthy of making a choice. I can also directly hit you all one by one. So you said you want to challenge me. You are not worthy of the opportunity to make a choice. Do you think you are worthy of challenging me?" Quote. If it's like this, tell Joe Fan. It's just a proper slap in the face. You say you don't deserve it, but you don't even have the chance to say you don't deserve it. What? Dizzy. Get up and give pointers to me. Don't lie down. Seat it up. Quote. Land Rover said to the self-righteous teacher. At this time, the head teacher had to admit that Lu Rover would not be a genius elite who awakened the phantom beast species, and also had his own unique thinking in the development and use of the fruit. How long has it been since he ate the gravity fruit? You can develop the fruit of gravity to this extent, and control so many of them in an instant. If it is well protected and nothing unexpected happens, it will definitely be able to develop the gravity fruit to a new level. It's so funny, I thought I got a top 8. I thought I was a head teacher, so I thought I could bully me. Now a tempest kick can kill you all, what's the use of turning into beasts or not? Are any of you still looking at me? Do you want to beat me up? Land Rover looked at the students under the battle platform and said. Are you still upset? Want to beat you up? Joe Fan, who was in the top 8, and even the head teacher was beaten to the ground by you. I can't get up now, and I don't know the injury. How could it be possible? A few students who just wanted to leave but didn't move forward are very glad that they didn't go out now, otherwise I would be among them, and I would be ashamed. It's really ridiculous. Are you afraid of me now? Then do you still listen to the rumors that I am timid and afraid of death? Quote. Is Land Rover so scary? OMG. Oh, the Land Rover is mighty. Yeah. The friends of Class 15 were amazed at the strength of Land Rover, and at the same time they flew happily. After all, Du Chang was beaten like this. The thing about Du Chang being beaten slowly developed into the things of Class 15 and Class 13, and Class 13 even sent a brother over to provoke. He also said that there is no one in Class 15, and the most powerful ones must be ranked in the top 20. Yet all of a sudden a super twist. Lu Rover alone is still the timid person they say is afraid of death. They singled out a group of them including the head teacher, and surrounded them all by themselves. The friends in Class 15 are very happy. Xiao Yu and Lan Lan knew that this must be the result, so they were not worried at all. At this time, Lanlan came out to the stage and said, everyone. I am Wen Lanlan from Class 8, Senior 3, and I take the liberty to come up and tell you a story. In the secret realm of Yangcheng, for some reason, a space hole appeared. From there came tens of thousands of monsters to invade. The monsters in Yangcheng resist tenaciously and start a war with the monsters there. Tens of thousands of monsters and tens of thousands of monsters are at war. You all know Lin Hao from Yangcheng's secret realm. At that time, he used to repair the space wormhole, and a group of people tried their best to prevent the monsters from coming in here. But it hasn't started to stop those who are being bullied by a large group of black-hearted monsters. They are almost all killed by monsters. Fortunately, we passed and rescued them. Of course, we went late, and how many people died. Then Land Rover stopped the invasion of the monsters on the opposite side by himself, and ended the war by himself. Of course, I'm not saying that we are better than Lin Hao. Without him the repair of the space hole is not good. Their spirit of risking their lives to protect the secrets of Yangcheng is worth learning from. This thing tells me, what I want to say is, don't judge a person through the internet. They in class 13 judged one by one through the internet. They are timid and afraid of death. He also yelled that he was a disgrace to the elites of the Dragon Kingdom, and that he was so cowardly and afraid of death after awakening the phantom beast species devil fruit. But when they said these words, they themselves were still under the protection of the school. And Land Rover has at least protected the Yangcheng secret realm. They still complacently thought that they were awesome and powerful in school. To step on Land Rover. But that's how it turned out, they were all knocked down. So, students, remember, never judge this matter through the evaluation of others on the internet. That's all I said. You guys at school probably don't know what happened in Yangcheng secret realm. The mayor who came to support at that time, and many big bosses also know about it. You can ask them for proof, and it will be clear. Quote. After Lan Lan finished speaking, she directly gave an ice room to the group of class 13. They heard Lan Lan's words, and they knew that Lu Rover had experienced so many things in the secret realm. And the strength is already good, protect Lin Hao and the others. Lan Lan then flew back to her own class in an elemental form, leaving a sentence, I'll go back to class first and pack up some things. All the students know that Lan Lan is a snow fruit capable person. And I also know that as soon as she wakes up, she immediately goes to the secret realm of Yangcheng to exercise, because there have been several suitors who went in to find her, but they all returned in vain. Xiao Yu came up at this time, holding Lu Rover's hand. Go to the direction of the class. The conflict between the two classes came to an end like this, but it's ridiculous to say it. Such a large group of people went to the battlefield mightily, thinking that there would be an earth-shattering battle, but in the end it was gone after 2 hits, and there was no contact between the opponents. The people in class 13 bowed their heads and felt uncomfortable as if they had eaten shit. And the person with 15 shots was extremely happy, and after the shock, they flew up happily. In the future, it seems that the people in class 13 will never dare to be arrogant in front of the people in class 15. Of course, even their teachers. After all, Land Rover is now surrounding their teachers too. Back in the class, Land Rover also had to bid farewell to his classmates and teacher. Goodbye. We will meet again if we are destined. Someone hurriedly came out and asked, Student Lu Rover, are you really going to Capital University? I heard correctly just now. You have said that Capital University has secretly sent you a message. You are welcome to come over. Maybe. Back at school today, I went to the principal to handle the graduate affairs, and demonstrated the power of the fruit of gravity, so that students, teachers and the principal can feel relieved of themselves. And even avenged his good brother Du Chang. Even the head teacher of class 13 was beaten by him. After finding out which hospital you are currently in, and saying goodbye to your classmates, wait for Lanlan to go to the principal's place with the head teacher. Also said some polite words. Praise Land Rover's strength, and wish Land Rover a bright future. Before leaving, he asked Xiao Yu to send out some animal hearts and some spiritual fruits to the head teacher. I gave these to the students and teachers in our class. Everyone has a share. I didn't send them myself just now. Please do it for me. Xiao Yu also asked Xiao Yu to prepare, and thousands of corpses were given to the principal. Principal, this is what I am contributing to the school. You can see how to use it yourself, and I will go first. The principal and class teacher looked at each other when they saw what Land Rover had given them, and they both felt it was incredible. They can get these monsters and these things, but it won't be so easy, and they won't have so many. He now has to go to the hospital first and then to the orphanage. After all, Du Cheng was injured because of him, and he also wanted to meet the brothers and sisters in the orphanage. On the road, Xiao Yu said mischievously, Little pervert, you can order me around just now. By the way, are you really going to join the army? How about going to my dad's place? Quote. If Lou Rover really thinks so, then they can be together every day. Probably not, after going to the orphanage. I guess I will go to the secret realm where Devil Fruit's ability cannot be used, come out and read books. I told the principal like that just now, and I just said that excuse casually, and I don't like it because there are too many constraints, I'm too lazy to worry about it. With you as a big backer, it shouldn't be difficult to study later, and I also believe that you want me to be your junior. Quote. Lou Rover shook his head. During the next summer vacation, he wanted to go to that physical secret realm. Lan Lan said. Then your next plan is to go to that secret realm, and I'll take revenge first. Is that the plan? But plans can never keep up with changes. Relax now, just came out of the secret realm for a few days. Let's talk about the later things. Lou Rover said. Lou Rover and Xiao Yu came to the hospital, and Lan Lan and Lan Xing went to busy with her affairs, so there is no worry about Lan Lan's safety with the bracelet in Lou Rover. I found Du Cheng's room from the nurse, but the other party was too busy to take Lou Rover there. Lou Rover took Xiao Yu to Du Cheng's room. The ward they passed by was not luxurious, it had some ordinary equipment, and a woman looked at the person on the bed in a daze. When the Land Rover passed by, the people on the hospital bed saw it. Woo! There was a whooping sound. The women in the room heard it and hurried to see what was going on. Because I have never made a sound like this for so long, the sudden sound like this must be something very exciting. Just look into his eyes, and follow his gaze to the outside of the room. There were only two young people walking outside, and she didn't understand what was going on. The people on the hospital bed continued to make noises. Woo-hoo. Use the rhythm of two words to pronounce it, just like calling Land Rover. The woman seemed to understand something, walked out of the ward and said, Land Rover. Land Rover heard that he was inexplicable. How could anyone here recognize him? He turned back and saw a woman appearing in the room he just passed. This woman is very haggard, but judging by the jewelry on her body, this face does not match her now. She saw Land Rover, turned around and stared at her. Just confirmed that he must be Lou Rover, and then she directly pulled Lou Rover into the room, like a shrew. Lou Rover, why did you beat my son like this? This is what you did, and what you didn't do must have something to do with you. You look. The woman cried directly. Land Rover didn't resist when he saw the woman pulling him away, because the haggard appearance of the woman didn't pose any threat to him. So she was pulled into the room by her. After listening to the woman's words, Land Rover looks like a person on a hospital bed. She said that I caused him to look like that, she said it had something to do with me. Seeing Lou Rover being pulled in, he became even more excited and struggled instantly. Staring directly at Land Rover, those eyes are really terrifying. If eyes could kill, maybe Land Rover would have died countless times by now. Land Rover saw him before reacting, who is this? Then she got rid of the woman and walked slowly over by herself and said. Don't be excited, your body is not suitable for excitement. Besides, you are like this, I will not do anything to you. Is this not what you want? You can't live but you can't die. How does it feel that life is worse than death? Quote. Woo. The people on the hospital bed exploded in anger after hearing this. The woman blew her hair straight away. She heard that the Land Rover really made it look like this. Then she rushed to the Land Rover and raised her clawed hands. At this time, Land Rover won't let her hurt herself, just give her the ability of a gravity fruit, and then she will float in the air uncontrollably, dancing in the air. By the way, let me tell you some good news, this is my girlfriend. Lou Rover put his arms around Xiao Yu and said to him. Don't be angry, I don't like your Sally, why did you come to trouble me and make my life worse than death? Ha ha ha. Song Wei was lying on the hospital bed. The father of the classmate who wanted Land Rover to die was also killed by Land Rover in the secret realm. Song Wei, you deserve it. You really deserve it. You don't even know how your father came into the secret realm to chase and kill me. Land Rover said something. Xiao Yu probably understood. She immediately rushed over and said, it's so miserable for us who are chasing and killing us, and we still want Lan Lan to give birth to a son for him. Lan Lan, you should know him. Lanlin, the school girl of your Yangcheng Middle School, actually chased Lanlin to be your stepmother for your father. Hey, you two father and son really deserve it. It was all for the sake of women that led to his fate. Quote. The woman in the air was ashamed when she heard these words. Impossible, impossible. Woohoo, he just went to revenge on your Land Rover. He seeks revenge on you, and you appear here, then he. Quote. This woman seemed to be 10 years older in an instant, which was really a heavy blow to her. The son looked like this, he couldn't move his whole body, and he couldn't speak. Now I also know that my husband is dead too. He glanced at his son, as if he had made some kind of decision. Lu Rover walked up to Song Hui's ear and said, how is it? How do you feel now? Ha ha ha, wicked people have their way. After speaking, Land Rover walked out satisfied. Song Wei, who would rather die than die, was left in this room, and his mother who was making some kind of decision in a crazy state. Ghost Organization site. My lord, this time we wiped out the Sally tribe, it was correct. Land Rover just went back to school and applied for graduation. I don't know what to do after graduation. But he has shot in school. Make sure he really exchanged the Eudemon's devil fruit, ate the gravity fruit, and used the gravity fruit's ability to kill the opponent in seconds. Here's the video of him doing it. Quote. Mu Lin took out the video and said. After watching this video, Duwang was surprised by his strength. Originally, his goal was directly aimed at Sally, so the Land Rover didn't care about it, so after confirming that Sally ate the fruit, he arranged for it, and personally went to destroy Sally's family members. Then wait for a chance to lure Sally to take revenge, and then kill her too. This is his plan to assassinate the Dragon Country Phantom Beast ability user. Because the order given above is no matter what. So even though he paid a lot of money when killing the Sally tribe. But now he saw the terrifying ability of Land Rover. A person of the same age faces a group of peers, and there are also super elites of the same age, and a class teacher is added. He can surround another group of people in an instant by himself. He couldn't do it himself at the time with such terrifying pervert strength. So he felt that Land Rover couldn't be let go, and Land Rover couldn't be allowed to continue to grow. It was already so powerful now, and it would definitely threaten the Ghost Organization by then. Mu Lin didn't wait to finish reading before saying directly, now Lu Rover has Sun Xiaoyu by his side, and that is Sun Zonghai's daughter. I don't know if I will follow him to Sun Zonghai's side. Quote. Mu Lin told this matter first, because he was aware of the Poison King and wanted him to kill this Land Rover too. But when he saw this video, he knew that he was not an opponent, so he took Sun Xiaoyu out to block him, and when they went to other places, it was none of his business. The Poison King is not afraid of Sun Zonghai, but after being offended, it will be difficult for the subsequent development to proceed smoothly. The Poison King seemed to have thought of a very good idea and ordered, pay attention to Sally's movements, as soon as she comes out, lure her to come to us. Lu Rover came to Ducheng's room, at the door. I heard some voices inside. Dad. Mom. Stop scolding, stop arguing. There is no right or wrong in this matter, it is just a dissatisfaction in my heart. I have no regrets either. Silly boy. Why should you when so many others don't? Just listen to these 8 trigrams, why take it seriously? Quote. Hey, you old lady. Don't bury the brotherhood in your son, the blood in your son. This is the shining point of your son, she is your son, don't compare yourself with others. Our Delong Kingdom lacks this kind of passion right now, and everyone listens to foreign comments and follows them blindly. It's rare that our son has such passion. Quote. Lu Rover heard the voice inside and thought for a while, he couldn't blame Ducheng's mother either. Poor parents all over the world, his mother just didn't want to see her son get hurt, and there was nothing wrong with that. But it's rare for Ducheng to have such a righteous father. When Lu Rover was about to knock on the door and go in, Xiaoyu pulled him and took out 10 spiritual fruits. Knock knock. Land Rover entered the room after hearing the sound of please come in. Hi uncle and aunt. How is Ducheng? You kid didn't even look at your own strength, so you rushed over to beat Chen Sen like this. Quote. Duqian saw Lu Rover come in and cried instantly, Land Rover Wu. By the way, be careful when you go back to school. Chen Sen said he would teach you a lesson, saying that you are a timid person who is afraid of death, which will affect the courage of the elites of the Dragon Kingdom. Quote. When Lu Rover heard that Du Chang was still worried about him, he was inevitably a little moved. After hearing this, Du Chang's mother shook her head and said, "Silly son." Xiao Yu was also very moved to see someone who cared so much about Lu Rover. After all, Lu Rover was an orphan who grew up in an orphanage without any background, but he could have such a good friendship. It's okay. He has been kicked into the hospital by me, and he is probably in this hospital. I will inquire later and take you there. By the way, here are some spiritual fruits I got in the secret realm, you can drink them to restore your body. Quote. Lu Rover took out the spiritual fruit by the way. Hurry up. I have some adventures here after all, so there is no shortage, don't think too much. Du Chang wanted to refuse at first, but he thought that Land Rover would definitely need it too. But he saw that Lu Rover had said this, so he was familiar with it, and immediately ate two in person. Wow. It's so comfortable, this spirit fruit is so powerful. Du Chang sighed directly after eating it. At this time, Lu Rover walked towards his uncle and the others and bowed. Uncle and aunt, Du Chang got hurt because of me. I am very sorry, and I also agree with my uncle's words. Now the enemy is staring at us, the younger generations of our country are about to grow up and protect our country's elites. But he didn't have some understanding of the comments and rumors of foreign knights, and he blindly obeyed and followed, and was used as a gunman to shoot at our countrymen. I support Uncle on this point. Fortunately, Uncle also made a mistake, so don't bury it. Du Chang is such a passionate person. Perhaps the justice and enthusiasm in the hearts of other children were wiped out by the parents in this way. Thank you again, Uncle. Quote. When Du Chang's father saw what Lu Rover said, he felt that Lu Rover was not a high school student, he knew things too well. He said hello to them as soon as he came in, and now he bowed to them, and gave Du Chang the spirit fruit to eat. No wonder Du Chang is so passionate, it turns out that he has such a good brother. It seems that Du Chang learned a lot from Land Rover. Seeing that Du Chang has improved a lot, if he asked directly, by the way, Du Chang, after I awakened devil fruit, I went straight to work and didn't return to class. What devil fruit did you awaken? How dare you rush to fight Zhou Fan like this? Quote. Du Chang shook his head and said, I'm a zone just like you, but it's a pity that it's not a phantom beast. It was a normal zone fruit fruit Fukuro form, and then I found that my legs were extremely powerful, 5 or 6 times stronger than before. Quote. After Land Rover heard that devil fruit was Fukuro fruit, he quickly recalled the characters in Bird Fruit in One Piece, and remembered the Phoenix, the News Writer, and the Quasi-Bell of the Desert Kingdom. Haven't thought of a Fukuro form yet. However, he thought of 2 characteristics of Fukuro. The hearing is very good, he can distinguish the position by listening to the sound, and the leg strength is also very strong, he can sleep standing up directly. It seems that Du Qian felt that his legs were so strong, so he went to stop someone like Chen Sen first. But Chen Sen just happened to hit Fukuro's weakest part in the chest, which led to the fact that he was sent to the hospital with a punch. Leg strength is Fukuro's strength, but there is another strength that you don't use. That is Fukuro's hearing. After you awakened, have you noticed that your hearing is particularly good? Or so good it messes you up? Quote. Hearing what Lu Rover said, Du Chang said directly, yes. 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 And I heard those noises here recently, I can't even sleep, those noises are so scary. And can you hear which room it came out of? Quote. Xiao Yu was shocked when she heard what Du Chang said. It's the first time I've heard of this fruit just like you, why are you so awesome, you can tell the ability of this fruit. Besides, you are a person with abilities, so if you say it yourself, it is not to cooperate with you. Seeing that I am an elite in front of you, I really don't deserve to be an elite at all. Perhaps from another perspective, Land Rover is the elite of the elite. Actually, with your ability, you can directly enter the national department to work, but you still need to improve your own ability. Think about it, find her if you need it. Xiao Yu, look. His hearing is like Fukuro's, he can hear the sound and distinguish the position. No matter in terms of collecting intelligence or hunting down the enemy, it is a very good choice. By the way, I forgot to introduce it. Du Chang. Xiao Yu. Quote. Lu Rover pointed to Xiao Yu and said. Xiao Yu rolled his eyes at him, why did he pull it on me? Don't listen to his nonsense. I'm still a student, not a high-ranking official. Know how to cry all day long. My cousin is an instructor in the Dragon group, but she just left. You think about it, if you are interested. I asked my cousin how it is over there. Quote. Du Cheng's parents were shocked when they heard these words. They never thought that this little girl has such great energy. It's true that you can't speak casually. If you don't know which big boss heard what you said behind your back, something that is sorry for the country, it would be too tragic. Of course, it was also his words just now that moved Lu Rover a little. After all, men think about things like defending their homes and the country, and they have passed it on to the next generation. How could it be buried so easily? It doesn't matter if you're not in a hurry, try to hear if Chen Sen is in this hospital. If so, try to hear where it is. I heard it, but let me listen to it again. Du Cheng tried his best to eliminate the voice that disturbed him. But still can't tell which room it's in. Land Rover said, "Are you interested in stepping on the door?" Du Cheng clenched his fists and said, "Let's go." Afraid of a hammer. So, get in a wheelchair. Du Cheng's father pushed behind the wheelchair and said, "Lu Rover, wouldn't it be too arrogant in the past? After all, Chen Sen was the one who got into the hospital. It was him who was wrong. He sent you, Du Cheng, to the hospital first. Let's take a look now. It's not to find a job. Of course, if they want to find something to do, they will let them come here, and we don't take it for granted." In other words, at that time, he shot me first, and I was also self-defense. What I use is his method. So talk about your peace of mind. Quote. Du Cheng's father never thought that Lu Rover would avenge Du Cheng in this way. It seems that this guy can do it. A large group of people walked into Chen Sen's room and looked at Chen Sen like that. The room is quite luxurious. It seems that this is a luxurious ward, and there is only Chen Sen in it. Chen Sen. I, Du Cheng, came to see you. Du Cheng said. Chen Senli ignored him and didn't say a word. When he saw Lu Rover, he stopped talking nonsense. It's better to adjust your body slowly. Land Rover saw that Chen Sen was not stubborn and talked some trash. Du Cheng continued. Look, Land Rover is not afraid of death. You have also been punished, so I won't say anything more. Really don't listen to foreigners' online comments, but do something to your compatriots, and it's for your own sense of superiority. Quote. Chen Sen turned his head and looked at him. At this time, Lu Rover said, I saw that the person who lived here before was called Song Wei, and the patient's information has not been replaced yet. But just saw Song Wei from class 14 below. It seems that he lived in this room before, and then moved down below. There is one thing to say, Song Wei, you should know each other, that is, after we exchanged fruits, Song Wei came to Yangcheng's secret realm and troubled me. Then I was beaten like that by me. If you knew about Song Wei, would you listen to the comments on the internet to tell me like that? Quote. When Lu Rover told this matter, both of them were very surprised. The strength of Lu Rover is so strong that he can torture Song Wei to death. Everyone in the school knows that anyone who wants to chase Sally must be beaten by Song Wei submissively. So they all know Song Hui's strength. Even Chen Sen is not Song Hui's opponent. If Chen Sen had known that Song Wei was being beaten by you, he wouldn't have taken your heat, and he didn't have to do this himself. Seeing them like this, if you still say, actually, his father also came to trouble me, but he was caught by me in seconds. I didn't second you, you should celebrate. Quote. Chen Sen intuitively felt that it was very scary. What was scary was not Land Rover, but his own thoughts, thinking that he had offended a person who could instantly kill Song Quan. So now he's thinking in his heart, oh my god. What the hell did I do? At this time, one of Chen Sen's younger brothers came in and saw a group of people also in the room. Take a closer look, it turned out to be a Land Rover, so he started a verbal dispute. The little brother said, Lu Rover, how dare you come here? Kick Chen Sen like this, just wait. The people in our class will definitely not let you go, we called Zhou Fan to come forward to us, just wait for us. Quote. At this time Xiao Yu laughed. Ha 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 ha. You said Zhou Fan, you guys from class 13. It is estimated that it is still in the ice room, and it has not been broken out of the ice room. By the way, your class teacher is also inside. Quote. This little brother just followed Chen Sen directly to the hospital, so he doesn't know what happened at school. Still clamoring to find Land Rover to save face. It really made Xiaoyu laugh to death. After Chen Sen and that little brother heard it, Chen Sheng finally said, "No way. Impossible." Land Rover said slowly, "Really? They came to find me on the fighting platform just now. Many of you 13 want to beat me. Including your class teacher. I surrounded them all by myself, without any resistance. Then Lanlin couldn't see them, so she surrounded them with an ice room. Given the strength of Lanlin's devil fruit, they probably haven't come out yet. You can ask other students." Quote. The two of them looked ashamed. It's okay at this time, Chen Sen thought of something. Lu Rover, I'm sorry. I shouldn't show you off. Du Chang, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done it. Quote. Chen Sen is quite smart. He immediately thought of the development of the matter, and apologized decisively first. Lu Rover looked at him. He was so smart, too sensitive, he could feel the wind direction right away. Seeing him like this, they went back directly. Not bad, I received an apology from Chen Sen. Du Chang's father heard that Lu Rover was so powerful, but fortunately he knew the seriousness of the matter, so he gave Lu Rover a big thumbs up. Go back to Du Chang's ward and exchange some pleasantries. Take a good rest and recover well. Really, your ability is very suitable for working in a national unit. If you really want to, you can tell us. As for whether they agree or not, even if they disagree, I will find a suitable place for you. Quote. Okay. Lu Rover, it's good to have you as a brother. I'll think about that after I get out of the hospital. Where should I choose to go to university? By the way, have you been promoted after graduation? Which university did you go to? Quote. I haven't participated yet, and I haven't made up my mind yet. That's fine, anyway, I'll keep in touch if I have time. There is no banquet in the sky that never ends. Find you when I am free, find me when you are free. Feelings can last forever. So Lu Rover said goodbye to Xiao Yu and Du Chang, on the way to the orphanage. Xiao Yu held Lu Rover's hand very tightly, I don't know why. Xiao Yu suddenly did this, it was a strong sixth sense. Maybe it's because I just saw. Farewell to Land Rover and classmates and teachers. The farewell of Land Rover and Lanlin Langsing. Land Rover and Du Chang's farewell. He should say goodbye to himself soon, maybe because of this feeling, so he held Lu Rover's hand very tightly. Feelings are getting stronger. Then the Land Rover who hugged him made a slight cry. Lu Rover looked at him, and gave her a bear hug, comforting her with one hand on her back and the other on her head. Xiao Yu slowly raised her head and looked at Lu Rover's mouth, after a few seconds. Stand on tiptoe and kiss me. Land Rover tried hard to respond to Xiao Yu's sudden attack. Next to the two of them on the road, Xiao Yu used the ability of lion fruit to form a secret room with leaves and ground. Continue to hug Land Rover, take off Land Rover's clothes directly. Less than 5 seconds. Land Rover also uses the Dragon Claw hand. 0.15 minutes later. They were resting, and Land Rover's sixth sense felt something was wrong, so they started observation hockey. Orphanages are under attack. The orphanage is under attack, and it is Mu Lin, the person in charge of Longguo in Yangcheng organized by the ghosts and gods, who came directly here with his subordinates. He kept replaying the group attack that Land Rover released in his mind, still worried about Land Rover's growth, and decided to assassinate Land Rover in the cradle. A few minutes ago, he led the team to the orphanage, and directly asked his subordinates to demolish the building and kill the people here. Raise this place to the ground in 10 minutes. Hurry up. Obey. Go. Superior. The personnel who came to protect the dragon team had already evacuated because of the incident of the Sally tribe, and they just left a phone number. Seeing this situation, the director of the orphanage tried his best to urge the orphans in the hospital to evacuate, and don't make unnecessary resistance. Let's go first, look at their appearance, it's not as simple as finding a job. Don't go there to die, it's not enough for them to come. Quote. However, there are a few people who have passed the age of 18 like Lu Rover, awakened the orphans of devil fruit, and came out to resist the enemy and protect their homeland. The home is invaded and destroyed, how can we not protect it? And the children need you too, you take them away quickly, I will hold them back. Yes, that's right. Dean, Take them to retreat first. You go first. The dean can only evacuate first with a few assistants and children. While evacuating, he calls the number left by Long Zhu and the mayor. Help! The orphanage is under attack. Come and save us, people from the ghost organization. After all, it was such a serious attack in the jurisdiction, it can be said to be a terrorist attack. It's just a matter of a moment, which is equivalent to our flash mob event. Get out. An orphan resisted. What do we care about in this orphanage? Another orphan resisted. Run. Ah! Shouted the headmaster, watching the children who covered their escape fall down one by one. The demons. Shouted an assistant. We have nothing, why? One by one was knocked down before they finished speaking. In a few minutes, the people of the ghost organization leveled the building in the orphanage just now, and killed the staff of the orphanage. When Land Rover observation hockey was discovered, the enemies were in the orphanage looking for the leftovers. It only took a few minutes in total, and the lives of the dragon group and the mayor's people were wiped out before they came to the orphanage. I'll pass first, you follow. Land Rover shouted. Immediately after speaking, I used moonwalk to go there, and at the same time, memories about the orphanage also came out. And Mu Lin felt threatened at the moment Land Rover's observation hockey was released, and decided to evacuate first. It's such a terrifying aura, which boss is hiding around here? It's almost over, so I'll dodge first. When Land Rover saw the situation on the scene after passing by, he was furious. Boom. The effect of the gravity fruit was performed on all the enemies, and they knelt on the ground directly in place. Immediately afterwards, Land Rover gathered them together, and then the ground they were on fell directly by more than 1 meter. One escaped. Land Rover continued to search with observation hockey, but found that it had disappeared. These people organized by ghosts and gods were all attacked by Land Rover's fruit ability. My god, why can't I move? What kind of ability is this? Is this under control? My lord, save us. Where is my lord? Master Mullen. Where's your lord? It's gone. It seems to have abandoned us. Lu Rover looked at them in black robes one by one. They had never met each other. They didn't know each other's identity in reality. They didn't know each other. Lu Rover's sharp eyes are simply terrifying. Lu Rover was about to go over to ask questions, but found that they were vomiting blood, and then whined. It's so decisive. This ghost organization really thinks that the team members are not human, so they directly use their fangs to avoid revealing any information. Land Rover tried its best to use observation hockey to find the breath of the man just now, but it couldn't find it. Soon, Xiao Yu, the mayor's people and the people from the dragon group arrived, and what they saw was. The building was gone, there were rubble and corpses everywhere, there were orphanages and enemies, there was a smell of blood, and the Land Rover just stood there without saying a word. The fact that the Sally tribe and the orphanage were attacked by lightning is enough to illustrate the current situation in the Dragon Kingdom, which is quite serious. Too many people have been infiltrated, and they didn't find it. They can be quickly attacked twice like this. In fact, the ghost organization has mobilized all the hidden personnel in Yangcheng this time, and all those left this time were killed by Lu Rover, only Mu Lin can run away wittily. That is to say, among the staff of the ghost organization in Yangcheng, only Mu Lin is left to lead the team. In fact, after the Sally tribe was killed, the mayor had already started to check the information of all the people in the city and sealed off the entry and exit of the city. It is necessary to find out the members of the ghost organization in Yangcheng, and the second accident occurred before the investigation is completed. The one who touched me the most was Xiao Yu. Seeing the situation before her, she didn't know how to comfort Lu Rover. Land Rover walked up to the families of those orphanages one by one and helped them close their eyes. Xiao Yu, rest in peace. I'm late. Xiao Mei, rest in peace. I'm late. When I walked to the dean, I saw that the dean was still holding a 3-year-old child tightly in his hands. The two of them fell down together. Both of them had fatal injuries to their necks. The child's head was still its full of Dean's blood. Land Rover finally couldn't hold back, and cried out directly. Squat on the ground and slap the ground with your hands. Dean. Hoo. Xiao Yu found that Lu Rover was crying, and ran over to see what was going on. Seeing this scene, she was also angry. This ghost organization can really do anything, and everyone can be wiped out. Lu Rover flipped through the memory and said silently, The dean is very kind to us, he will give us everything first, and give us what he is not willing to eat first. For the few fruit trees next to him, he ate a few to try the taste of the year, and then gave us all to eat. Looking at his clothes, he was reluctant to change them. He took the clothes we didn't wear, cut them out and continued to make patches for our own clothes. When he is free, he also writes down what happened in the orphanage as a novel, records it and publishes it online to share with friends. How could such a person get such a result? Quote. Lou Rover looked at the dean's body like this. It's organized by ghosts and gods, you wait. Land Rover shouted. People from the Dragon Group and the mayor came over and signaled to Lou Rover to count the remains and arrange the next work. The mayor gave them an order. Strictly investigate the identity of the deceased organized by ghosts and gods, and secretly investigate the family members after knowing it. Land Rover was blowing the wind, and the outside world didn't affect him at all. After a while, a spiritual light suddenly appeared. He remembered that there were still many people he hadn't seen, those family members who were still in school, those who hadn't returned to the orphanage. Then they escaped unharmed. Of course, what Land Rover impressed the most was the twins, who pestered him every day in primary and junior high school. Land Rover's brother, turn around him. Although Land Rover has traveled through time, when my own memories come out, it will inevitably be touched. Lou Rover thought quietly, why did the other party attack the orphanage? What are you going to do now? Land Rover immediately realized that the most important thing now is to let the other members of the orphanage continue to be broken into pieces so that they will not be hurt again, seek revenge from the members of the ghost organization, and improve the overall strength of Longguo. Lou Rover looked at Xiao Yu who was accompanying him, then sat down and hugged his knees and said, Xiao Yu, am I useless? I can't even protect them. I haven't even seen the last side, look at the dean's actions. He didn't abandon the orphans at such a time. Still hugging and protecting with my own strength. Quote. Xiao Yu didn't speak, just sat beside him silently, leaning on him slowly. I'm too stupid, I should come back here before going to school. Then at least you can see them one last time, and maybe protect them. I just made the wrong choice. Quote. Land Rover raised his fist and punched his thigh a few times. This is self-blaming and punishing yourself. After a while, the Dragon Group and the mayor and their people had already withdrawn. Land Rover doesn't mean to blame them, they also have other tasks, they will come as soon as they are notified, it is impossible to send someone to protect them at any time. It's best to rely on yourself for this kind of thing. If your family has the strength, you won't be afraid of others looking for trouble. Taking a step back, who has the obligation to protect them? At this time, a fire-breathing dragon appeared behind them. His body shape is now about the same size as his boss. Slowly behind them the bear hugs them. The bracelet on Xiao Yu's hand also responded at this time, and it also became bigger. Land Rover saw this fire-breathing dragon in astonishment, my goddammit. So big so fast. Land Rover immediately recognized that it was the Fire Cloud Snake baby. Fire Cloud Snake was also stunned, its son actually had wings and 4 legs. Oh my god. I am obedient. They rubbed their heads against each other. Land Rover immediately stood up and carefully observed the fire-breathing dragon. Now he is about the same height as him, a little bit fatter than him, not as serious as a Charizard, but a little more cute. Land Rover clapped hands with it and said, welcome. Go play with Fire Cloud Snake for a while. Then they ran away. Xiao Yu couldn't believe it when she saw it. It is obviously the baby born of 2 Fire Cloud Snakes. She has seen the baby before. It is also a very cute and soft little white snake, but after eating the fruit of Land Rover. Now it has become a dragon with wings and hands and feet, and it is directly friendly with Land Rover. It is estimated that he already has the consciousness of Land Rover in his soul. After all, he is also in the consciousness of Land Rover during pregnancy, so it is also very friendly to Land Rover. That of yours is so amazing, it directly changed into a species. Xiao Yu exclaimed directly. Yeah, he has been directly promoted to a few levels, can it remain the same? Where did you get that fruit? It's so amazing. It fell from the sky and picked it up. Fire Cloud Snake was so happy, seeing his baby become so powerful, he directly fulfilled his dream and turned into a dragon. The difference between a snake and a dragon: there is no snake who does not want to be a dragon. After chatting with the fire-breathing dragon, the fire cloud snake came over and surrounded the Land Rover with his body, and put his face against the Land Rover's face. He doesn't lick his face with his tongue like a dog's. The fire-breathing dragon also flew over, flapping its wings happily. Come over and continue to hug Lou Rover and say, "Boss, don't be unhappy. Let's work hard together. Little dragon, you can still comfort people, right? By the way, what skills do you know now?" Quote. "Oh, I haven't learned how to fly yet." Land Rover immediately thought of the skill of the fire-breathing dragon. That one is amazing. Flame Jet, Flame Vortex, Shadow Clone, Rocket Head Hammer, Dragon Tooth, Dragon Claw and many other skills. I am very excited just thinking about it. Haven't you learned it yet? It's okay, I'll teach you later. By the way, I'll call you a fire-breathing dragon. Charizard. Wow. Charizard. Wow. Thanks man. Thank you, boss, for giving the baby a name. Okay, then go back first, don't worry about me. I know what's going on, so go back quickly. Quote. Land Rover spoke to them directly. They were very obedient and went back directly. After all, they are outside now, so it is not easy for others to discover their existence. Only Xiao Yu and Lanlin know about them now. They have it in their hands now, so they won't talk about these things. Seeing that Lou Rover is getting better, Xiao Yu directly asked about Lou Rover's plan. What's the plan in the future? Will it remain the same as the original plan? Land Rover looked firmly and said, yes. After I notify the escaped friends, we can first go to the secret realm to find some rewarding fruits for them to eat. There is no need for them to wait until they are 18 to awaken. You can also inform the official side by the way, try to see if you can organize a special force team, and specialize in learning the 6 styles of Teishu to improve our country's combat power. Try it first, and you may not be able to succeed. Quote. When Xiao Yu heard Lou Rover say this, she was quite sensible, she didn't get dazzled by hatred, and went directly to the ghost organization to take revenge. I can't do that with Land Rover. Also relieved a lot. Where the woods hid. It's a good thing you can run away quickly. Otherwise, I will die too. Then who is so powerful and directly wiped out our people? And it puts so much pressure on me, it doesn't seem to be Sun Xiaoyu. Just because Sun Xiaoyu is next to Land Rover, I am not good at attacking Land Rover, so I attack the orphanage that Land Rover is closely related to. But there is such a powerful strong man nearby. How can I explain it? So many people died. I'm the only one left now. He became the proper bachelor commander in Yangcheng. Quote. Mu Lin buried his injustice. Who let you make up your own mind? The Poison King tells you to keep an eye on Sally's movements, he has his own schemes. Who is to blame? I can only blame myself for wanting to be greedy for merit. He wants to get rid of Lou Rover, because Lou Rover has developed the fruit of gravity too much during this period, and that move is definitely not his full strength. And there is another reason, which is how much impact killing Land Rover will have. After all, Land Rover is not an ordinary person, but a man known all over the world. Almost every country knows that if there is such a character as Land Rover. Land Rover waited for a whole day, and finally all the orphans who came to see the orphanage came after they knew about it. Lou Rover said to them respectively, you remember, it was those guys organized by ghosts and gods who made the orphanage like this yesterday. I told you not to ask you to go to them for revenge or something, but to always remember. Ghost organizations exist for a day, they are your enemies, kill the enemies of your brothers and sisters, kill the enemies of the dean who loves you the most. Here are some resources, you keep it. I gave it to you as a big brother. I hope you can develop with peace of mind and work hard to improve yourself. But you don't have to think about revenge, just know that they are your enemies. I will also leave Yangcheng during this time, if there is anything you can tell my brother Du Chang. Quote. Brother Lou Rover, we know. Understood. Listen to Brother Lou Rover. Land Rover gave them some resources so that they could at least survive after leaving the orphanage. They don't need to go to other orphanages, and they will be bullied if they go. Land Rover and Xiao Yu go to the capital together. I don't know if they did something on the way, but after arriving in the capital, the two of them separated. Xiao Yu went home first. Sun Zonghai, Dragon Kingdom Admiral Army. The head of the Sun family, a top family in the capital. Dragon Kingdom's #1 swordsman. Logia Lava Fruit ability user. Red Dog Akainu's abilities wow. Mrs. Sun, a teacher at Capital High School. Kitchen Fruit ability user. Xiao Yu went home and told about this experience, of course she chose to tell. What? An unpopular family in Yangcheng dared to touch my daughter Sun Zonghai, and even wanted to kill my daughter to silence her. It really doesn't make sense. Quote. Husband, it seems that you have been out of the mountain for a long time, and the cats and dogs in Yangcheng can bully you. When Xiao Yu mentioned that Sun Quan didn't give her face and wanted to kill her to silence her, Sun Zonghai was furious immediately. The surrounding heat rolled over directly. Fortunately, the family was used to this, and the surrounding equipment was already able to withstand his high temperature. Hey, Dad. Don't get excited. Am I not doing well here? What are you excited about? He has been killed by us, and his son has become a vegetable, only eyes can move. So don't make such a big fuss. Quote. Xiao Yu came over to comfort him and said. However, Sun Zonghai still felt that he was not relieved enough after hearing this. Even if you kill him, the fact that he wants to silence you can't be forgotten like this. Come on. Within 7 days, I will make Yangcheng no longer have the Song family. It seems that I have been out of the mountain for too long, and everyone is not afraid of me. I think that when I went to Sha Kingdom, everyone trembled when they heard my name. How dare you kill my daughter to silence me now? I also want to let the people of Longguo know what will happen to Sun Zonghai's daughter who dares to touch me. Quote. Yes. As ordered. An official ran over and made a standard action, and then went out again. Old man, that's right. I think back when you went to Saudi Arabia, people all over the world were scared when they heard your name. Madam Sun agreed. Seeing this situation, Xiao Yu seems to be unable to stop the decision of the two of them. From now on, there will be no Song family in Yangcheng. However, without their help, the Song family would cease to exist. Mrs. Song had already taken Song Wei with her that day, and the rest of the Song family were directly kicked out of Yangcheng by those who had bullied them before. So Xiao Yu shook her head and sighed. But she doesn't care about the Song family's affairs, but about the Land Rover. After all, I'm already on good terms with Land Rover. She has to do everything possible to convince her parents. Mom and Dad, if there is no Land Rover here this time, you will never see your daughter again. Lu Rover, this person you are talking about. Did it shock the whole country or even the whole world before? The Land Rover who exchanged the gravity fruit with the Phantom Beast Devil fruit. Madam Sun asked. Yes, that's him. What? That little boy. Sun Zonghai said. What a brat, he is your daughter's savior. If it wasn't for him, I would have been wiped out by that winged bird. I don't believe that he can get rid of the winged bird with a few kicks on the ground. And if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be hunted down by Sun Quan. I guess it was just a coincidence that he got the advantage. Sun Zonghai said. After all, with the skills he has realized now, he never said that he could threaten the monsters in the air with just a few strokes from the ground. According to the current human strength. Except for a few powerful fruit ability users, he is a gravity fruit ability user, and such a thing will never happen. So he won't believe it. The daughter told him that the Land Rover who had just eaten the fruit of gravity kicked randomly on the ground and threatened to run away the level 15 monster that was going to kill her. If you want to brag, you have to make a draft. If it is said that her cousin Lan Xing is a flower fruit capable person, maybe it is really possible. You say a kid who just ate a gravity fruit. He really can't believe it. Don't say that you can scare away a level 15 monster with a few random kicks, but he can recover a level 30 monster with one kick. Forget it. Anyway, you probably won't believe it. It's better to let your seeing be believing. Quote. After finishing speaking, Xiao Yu gave Sun Zonghai a tempest kick. Sun Zonghai saw the air knife blowing towards him. His natural reaction was to use elementalization to dodge, and then boom, the things behind him seemed to be scraped. Really scratched a knife mark. He was finally surprised when he saw the knife mark. And surprisingly his daughter did the trick too. Is this the way to scare away the monsters in the sky with a few random kicks on the ground? Yes, father. He also taught me this move, but I can't exert a tenth of its power. And he is very powerful. The attack from his legs actually has the fire attribute. Quote. Because he really felt the power of the air knife, he had to believe what his daughter said now. You can have attacks with attributes at a young age. Then this Land Rover is definitely not easy. Xiao Yu took advantage of this moment to tell her what Lu Rover asked her to do. Yes, Dad. Land Rover also asked me one thing. Said that there is a very important matter, about the overall combat power of the country. I hope to meet with the Queen to propose. Quote. After hearing this, Sun Zonghai frowned about the Queen. Good girl. You are not joking. But the way he looked at Xiao Yu was very serious. It doesn't look like a joke at all. What suggestions do you want to improve your overall standing strength? You still have to meet the Queen. You also know that even if I am the Queen, I can't see you just because I want to. Quote. Come on, take a good look at it. Then Xiao Yu practiced all 6 gymnastics here. Moonwalk, straight into the air, and then shave, paper arts, iron body, finger pistol, tempest kick. These moves look very exaggerated in front of them. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, he certainly wouldn't have believed it. Seeing my daughter sometimes is paper and sometimes as hard as iron body. This. How is this going? Are you a special effect? Stunt. Acrobatics. Quote. The two of them directly shook their heads, seeing Xiao Yu's moves. This is what I said just now to improve the overall standing strength. This is the 6 physical exercises that Land Rover taught me. What he means is to train a special force and let them all practice the 6 physical exercises. If you think about it, if a special forces team has this kind of physique June 4th, you can imagine how much the combat power has improved. Ordinary people can learn it too, and after learning it, they can even compete with powerful people. A person with abilities like me is even more powerful after learning it. It has a huge impact on our country and even the whole world. This is what he proposes. Of course it's just his proposal, but it still needs to be decided by you big guys. Quote. Sun Zonghai looked at her daughter seriously, sorting out and digesting all the things he saw and heard just now. Good girl, do you think this is a gymnastics? Yes. No problem. This is a kind of gymnastics. Although I didn't really believe it at first, and I didn't believe that a high school student who had just eaten the fruit of gravity would have such a powerful move, but now that I have learned it, I have to believe it. And mommy, when did your daughter joke with you about this kind of thing? This is what I learned from Land Rover in Yangchung's secret realm these days. Quote. Xiao Yu also knew that it was too much for their cognition. Just like when I first got in touch. Because that is too exaggerated and too unscientific. They must feel the same way now. You said that you learned from Land Rover in the secret place of Yangchung these days. Does that mean your cousin, Lan Xing, covered you up and lied to us? Quote. Yes. Cousin helped me cover up. These days, I have been learning the 6 physical skills from Lu Rover in Yangchung's secret realm, and my cousin knows it too. She also knows that Lu Rover is very powerful, stronger than her. So she also wants me to finish learning these moves. Quote. In fact, none of them knew that Blue Star wanted to sell you to Land Rover. Fortunately, I worked super hard, and finally learned a little fur, and I have to work harder to improve my strength. Think about it, with my cousin Lan Xing's character, seeing me in the secret realm of Yangchung, how could he let me stay there alone? Even if he knocked me out, he would bring me back. But she didn't do that, but chose to cover for me. If you don't believe me, you can ask her. Quote. Sun Zonghai also knew that what Xiao Yu said was right. With Lan Xing's character, he would definitely do that. If he didn't do that, there was only one possibility. Xiao Yu will not be in danger. That means that Lu Rover is stronger than her, and can even crush the monsters in the Yangchung secret realm. He never thought that a student who hadn't graduated from high school would be so powerful. Daughter, you actually learned the moves, and these moves are really too powerful. As she said, it is really even more powerful. It seems that there is an opportunity to propose to the queen. Of course, Xiao Yu must demonstrate the 6 styles of Teishu. Metropolitan Government Conference Room. Queen of the Dragon Kingdom. Bird fruit phantom beast species Suzaku mythical beast form. Wearing a big red dress that was the same color as her Suzaku, she sat in the first place and said, let's arrange the things organized by ghosts and gods like this first. Okay, Do you have anything else to do? If not, today's meeting ends here. Quote. Sun Zonghai immediately stretched out his hand to signal, I have it. Please speak, Sun Admiral. The Queen said slowly. The other leaders present also looked at Sun Zonghai. Empress and everyone, I need to take the liberty of this matter. Let my little girl Sun Xiaoyu come in and explain. Now she is outside the conference room, she can show everyone the practice. Upon hearing this, some people will be dissatisfied. What is the other party here, and how precious everyone's time is? The Queen frowned when she heard this request, and then said, Go outside and call in Sun Admiral's daughter. The Queen knew that Sun Admiral was also a man of measure. This matter did not really require his daughter to come in, he was sure he would explain the situation himself. Yes. An assistant walked out. After a while, Sun Xiaoyu was brought in. Sun Xiaoyu also knew that he had to speak quickly, and he had to be simple and clear. After a simple greeting to the Queen and all the bosses, he immediately said, Wait for a few minutes of everyone's time. I am here to deliver things for half of my master. Quote. Lu Rover taught her the 6 forms of physical art, and she only thought that this title would be easy for everyone to accept. Otherwise, if you waste the Queen's time by doing things for a friend, isn't that courting death? But the people present were very shocked when they heard this sentence. The point is not to give things, but her half-master. Half-master. It still belongs to Sun Xiaoyu. But when did she worship as a teacher? Who on earth is qualified to be Sun Xiaoyu's master? Sun Zonghai didn't even let her go to the Dragon Team Special Forces. So who the hell was able to get Sun Zonghai to agree? But when everyone looked at Sun Zonghai, they saw his face was calm and he didn't react, so they didn't see anything. But it also shows that this thing is true. Sun Zonghai knew about this, and Sun Xiaoyu was not joking. The Queen also had the same thoughts, looked at Sun Zonghai, then turned to Sun Xiaoyu and said, When did Sun Admiral's daughter become a teacher? I'm curious, which hidden master in Longguo has been met by you, and you are willing to admit to learning from him. Quote. In the Dragon Kingdom, there are countless people who want to accept Sun Xiaoyu as an apprentice. Several admirals present also thought about it, but Sun Zonghai refused to agree, and Xiaoyu's vision was very high, no one took a fancy to it. After all, my father is so powerful, no matter the speed of the sword or the ability to develop fruit, basically no one dares to say that he is the second and the first. Dad is the best teacher in the first place, how can anyone else be Sun Xiaoyu's teacher? All of you are very curious. This little girl has been exercising outside for a while, and I just found out when I came home a few days ago. Sun Zonghai said without knowing it. Everyone made a voice of doubt. Oh. Because Sun Zonghai didn't have any dissatisfaction, and he even brought her here. This made everyone a little curious about Sun Xiaoyu's half-master. Seeing everyone's expressions, Sun Xiaoyu hurriedly said, Actually. Everyone should know my half-master, the one who awakened the devil fruit of the phantom beast a few days ago, but ate the gravity fruit. Land Rover. Quote. In fact, she said that Land Rover didn't know, this was her own idea. After all, he is doing things for Land Rover now, and it took him a long time to think of this plan. Presumably Land Rover wouldn't blame her. But as soon as she said this. What? Land Rover? Are you playing? Isn't that younger than you and haven't graduated from high school yet? Eating devil fruit later than you can teach you something. Almost everyone present felt that it was outrageous. It's really incredible. Sun Xiaoyu continued. I know everyone will be very surprised and even think I'm joking, this is what we expected. But if you look at my dad's reaction, you will know that I am not joking with him, what I said is true. And at home, he also thought I was joking, so you guys think that we have expected it. Quote. This sentence is directly confirmed. Sun Zonghai knew what Lu Rover taught her, and he had no objections. The Empress looked at Sun Zonghai and knew that he had already seen it at home, and also agreed to bring Xiaoyu here. The Queen felt a little interesting, and said, It's interesting, then can you tell us what you learned from her? Or is there anything special about him? Everyone thought it was the person Xiaoyu was talking about. Which hidden boss was supposed to be met by Xiaoyu? But the result? It is Land Rover who ate the fruit of gravity, a high school student who has not yet entered college. Others really don't believe it at all. It's outrageous. And the news about Land Rover on the internet is not good. Said that he was frightened by the organization of ghosts and gods, and he was too timid to eat the devil fruit of the phantom beast, and he was ridiculed by foreigners. They haven't seen the video of Land Rover's shot in the past few days, and they haven't updated their understanding of Land Rover. This kind of timid person who is afraid of death taught Sun Xiaoyu something, and Sun Zhong still has no objections. If this is the case, then there must be something special about what Land Rover taught Sun Xiaoyu. Hearing the queen's question, everyone looked at Xiaoyu in unison. Xiaoyu nodded. Okay. But I'll deliver the things first, let's talk about him. Xiaoyu took out a space bag and walked towards a general. General Feng Yi, this is some monster meat he gave to the front line. I hope the soldiers in front can have an extra meal. General Feng Yi, who was in charge of guarding the safety of the dragon country, took the space bag and nodded, not paying too much attention to it, because how much meat can be given by just a high school student who has not yet entered college. But when he looked inside the space bag, he saw so many monster corpses. My God. So many. But his consciousness entered the space bag to check. There were densely packed monster corpses. There were about 30,000 monsters around level 15. When he saw it, he stood up and exclaimed. What concept is this? There are more than 7,000 monsters in Yangcheng's secret realm. What is the concept? For monsters around level 15, the soldiers of the Dragon Kingdom eat about 10,000 monsters a year. Then this is their food for 3 years. So there are so many corpses of monsters around level 15, more than just extra meals. For the soldiers of the Dragon Kingdom, it is definitely a great gift. General Feng Yi said tremblingly. Are these really sent by Land Rover? How did he get so many monsters? And it's around level 15. Quote. At that time, Xiaoyu entered the Yangcheng secret realm where she was a level 11 monster. So level 15 monsters are not so easy to kill. But these were all given by herself, not by Lu Rover, who just asked her to suggest the 6-style special team. Of course, Xiaoyu collected these monsters in the past, but they were all killed by Land Rover. So insisting that it was sent by Land Rover, of course there is no problem. Hearing General Feng Yi's trembling voice, everyone present frowned. Old Feng, look at you who have never seen the world, don't let this grandchildren see your jokes, tell us quickly, how many caddies of meat are in it? Someone asked impatiently. Feng Yi looked directly over and said, how much? How many caddies? Can I look like this? There are about 30,000 of them, and the average is around 15. Everyone here took a breath. Oh my God. It's okay to say 8 out of 10, 30,000. Not to mention 30,000, even 30,000 caddies of meat is enough to shock them. Not to mention 30,000. Even Sun Zonghai was in a daze at this moment. Because he didn't know that his daughter would make such an action, he thought he would directly mention that matter. As a result, the meat of tens of thousands of monsters was produced. Everyone doesn't know how Land Rover did it. 100 of them are already very difficult to deal with. Not to mention 30,000. Even the Empress stood up from her seat, her eyes widened. The boss, who couldn't wait to ask, walked over to General Feng Yi and grabbed the space bag. Why are there so many? Let me see. As he saw the densely packed monster's flesh in the space bag, he froze in place. Can't come back normally for a long time. When other people see this situation, it proves that the quantity is real. Feng Yi never said anything less. At this time, Xiaoyu replied, it was given by Land Rover. I don't know how he got it. You should ask him if you have a chance. How do you get all these monster meat? Land Rover must have killed it alone. I can't say now that Land Rover killed it alone. You can't say that Lu Rover's move of a meteorite falling from the sky, maybe you all lock him up individually. After all, that move can endanger the national security of the Dragon Kingdom. Xiaoyu took the space bag and went to the next one and said, Principal Huang Kong, the beast heart in this space bag was given to you by Land Rover. If your scientific research department needs to use it for research, you can use it, and you can use it to distribute it to the genius elite of a school. In short, you have the right to control. Quote. President Huang Kong is the Minister of Research of Brother Long and the President of Capital University. It can be said that he has dedicated his whole life to the development of Longguo's career, whether it is in scientific research or in educating people. Only in his hands can these beast hearts be brought into full play. The people present saw Principal Huang Kong's excited expression. Therefore, everyone knows that the number will definitely not be small. After delivering the 2 space packages, Xiao Yu went to the queen. My lord, these are the 6 physical exercises he taught me in the secret realm of Yangcheng, just like the name says. This is a physical technique, and there are 6 moves in it. 2 moves, 2 offenses, 2 defenses. Please watch. Quote. The Empress was shocked, since Sun Zonghai agreed to bring her here, then this 6 physical exercises must be extraordinary. And from the gifts in those space bags just now, I know that this physical skill is not easy. First moonwalk shaved. This. What? If you take the liberty, please let me finish. The orphanage where he grew up just now was targeted by ghosts and gods. The orphanage has been razed to the ground, and the director and some orphans have been killed. He thought a lot, and then he thought about teaching the 6 styles of Teishu to a special team. Improve our country's national combat power and drive out the ghost organization. Quote. Sun Zonghai couldn't help but smile, because he saw everyone's reaction was almost exactly the same as his previous reaction. I want to go back to being the same as they are now, that suspicious, unbelievable expression. Tread on the air and fly in the air. Like iron body. Like paper. Outrageous. It's outrageous. It's unscientific. How can the human body be like this? What they saw with their own eyes was made by Xiao Yu, who they had been watching since they were young. Everyone was silent. How could this be a physical technique? And isn't Land Rover just a high school student? How could he still create his own physical skills? It doesn't matter if you create your own taijutsu, but also create such a pervert taijutsu. Still human. Why not go to heaven? Xiao Yu is also silent now. Anyway, it took his father a long time to really believe it. I'm afraid they don't believe it, and in order to prevent them from thinking that Land Rover is a threat to the country, Xiao Yu adopted this plan of courtesy first and soldiers later, and first used the monster's flesh and animal heart to stimulate everyone's curiosity. When using the 6 styles again, everyone's acceptance will be better, and the curiosity will not be so great. I didn't expect it to be like this, it's still incredible. I can't believe it, it's true. Sun Admiral. Is this true? Someone looked at Sun Zonghai. Will Xiao Yu still have fake ones? I was also curious for a long time at the beginning. But we were shocked to be shocked. What I heard from the little girl is that he wants to hand over the 6 styles of Teishu to a special force team, and this special force team will be selected by us, and we will participate in the decision whether to do it or not. That is to say, those who have these 6 physical skills are at least very loyal to our Dragon Kingdom. And he asked us, but did not train a group privately, which also means that he also has a dragon heart. It sounds like he gave us 3 options. 1. If we think it is feasible, we will find a group of people to train him. 2. If he thinks it is feasible, he will find someone to train himself. 3. If it is not feasible, just refuse it directly. The little girl has already practiced, which means she can practice. Quote. My lord, actually Land Rover not only taught me, but also taught Lan from Yangcheng Middle School. She is a classmate of Land Rover at the same school, just awakened as Logia snow fruit, and she learns a little better than me. Land Rover's proposal is to improve the national combat power of our Dragon Kingdom. Quote. Xiao Yu said immediately after hearing this. Slowly, they can only believe it. The queen heard that Land Rover taught 2 people at that time, both of them were elites, and they both learned it. After all, she saw it with her own eyes, and Xiao Yu used it. It is really possible to learn an exercise to learn, and it is so powerful. If people who learn it form a special team, then this special team will definitely affect the strength of the entire Dragon Kingdom. Even have a place in the whole world. Now you should be able to understand why he exchanged the Phantom Beast Basaltic Beast Devil Fruit. He is not lacking in speed, offense and defense. So animal play was not his first choice. Well, my proposed task is complete. The decision for this proposal is yours to make. I will not bother you. Quote. After Xiao Yu finished speaking, she directly used Moonwalk to leave the meeting room from the air. Just leave the rest to her father, Sun Zonghai, and she doesn't bother to worry about it. After Lu Rover arrived in the capital, according to Xiao Yu's prompt, he went to the entrance of the secret realm of physical arts. Both the capital secret realm and the physical arts secret realm are in the capital, but the entrances are not at the same place, and the person in charge of the physical arts secret realm is usually at the entrance. Compared to the two secret realms, the death rate in the physical realm is higher, because in the capital secret realm, at least you can use Devil Fruit's ability to escape instantly. And once there is not enough fighting in the physical secret realm, it is not enough. The newly awakened students of Capital Middle School, they are either going to the secret realm of the capital or the secret realm of physical arts. The two secret realms are both unfamiliar and curious to them. Many go to the secret realm of the capital first, and then go to the secret realm of physical arts. Land Rover has reached the entrance of the physical secret realm. Some people want to go in, and some people just came out. It's too powerful. That bat chased me and beat me. I can only be beaten. Is there anything wrong with the classmate? You were beaten badly by a bat. Ha 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 ha. What can I do? Hit him with stones and miss him. It can fly again, use that sonic attack, and catch you after it knocks you out. I didn't go as fast as they flew, but fortunately I was able to escape. After finishing speaking, I rushed back for treatment. Those who were about to go in at the entrance, the students all passed the description of this classmate, and they were a little hesitant to go in. I also saw the ragged clothes of this classmate who just came out. The students who were about to go in next were thinking about whether to go in, and the person behind felt uncomfortable and said directly, "Can you go in or not? If you don't go in, give way first, and think next to let the people who want to go in behind go in first." Quote. The group of people were not unreasonable, so they slowly moved a little to the side. Give me your name and where you're from. Zhao Min, Capital Middle School. Zhang Wuji, Capital Middle School. Zhou Zhiro, Capital Middle School. Land Rover can go in after hearing that the people in front just finished reporting like this. When it was his turn, he reported directly, Land Rover, Yangcheng. People who were thinking on the side and queuing behind all heard the voice of Land Rover. The name Land Rover sounds familiar. Which class is it from? Which class is a fart? It's not from our school. That one, the Phantom Beast fruit. Oh, that's right. The one that awakened the Phantom Beast Devil fruit. He must have eaten the fruit of gravity, so he came to the capital's secret gymnastics practice so soon. This is too fast. A classmate came out provocatively and said, Land Rover, I don't think you deserve to go in. You are too timid to eat devil fruit. Why are you still going in? After hearing this, Lou Rover blinked and turned his head, looked at him and said, the manager didn't say anything. Did you say whether you deserve it? Who are you? I'm from the Liang family in the capital, Liang Tong. Be good, don't go in. No one here will know after entering and dying. Liang Tong pressed his knuckles together with both hands, making a lot of noises. That is to say, you want to kill me inside. How did I offend you? Why don't I say sorry and you let me go? Lou Rover deliberately confessed. Hearing Lou Rover's confession, Liang Tong immediately swelled up. Ha ha ha. It seems that what was said on the internet is correct, you just want to exchange it because you are too timid to eat it because you are afraid of death. Can be scared by me. Have you seen it? This is the Land Rover of the awakened monster species devil fruit. Quote. Liang Tong has been training in the secret realm of the capital for a long time, and he feels that his strength is very strong, so he can directly give it to his self-inflated mind. Land Rover asked the manager, this leader, who can't go in? The manager said, people from all over the world can enter, no matter what their status is. Then are the physical secrets of other countries also open to the world? Yes, because this cannot be restricted, even if we say it is restricted, but when entering, the secret realm will not reject it. Unlike the secret realm of the capital, only people from the Dragon Kingdom can enter. Quote. Lou Rover asked in advance, it would be bad if he was killed and he couldn't go in. Lou Rover looked towards Liang Tong, so I have nothing to do to you. Liang Tong rolled up his sleeves and said, no, there are so many comments on the internet saying that you are timid and fearful, which has affected our class, including me of course, so I hold a grudge against you. So I think you don't like it, you can go in and try it. No one really knows if you died inside. Quote. Students who have just entered the entrance ask the students who eat melons around. What's the situation? They are going to fight. Land Rover said he wanted to enter the secret realm, but this guy didn't like Land Rover and wouldn't let him in. He's a Land Rover. He's too domineering, if you don't like people. That's how he is, blatantly provoking Land Rover. It looks like we're going to fight. Lou Rover shook his head and said, he died here, so what if so many people know? He was really stunned by this question for a few seconds. Liang Tong laughed and said, ha ha ha. At least outside the secret place, you can call the police and take your body away. No one knows what will happen inside. Then I'll treat you better, at least let others know about your corpse. And use the power of the fruit of gravity. Lou Rover said as he walked over. After talking about controlling the lamp above his head, he smashed it directly at him. The first smash smashed the lamp, and Lou Rover continued to control the fragments, stabbing at his body. Liang Tong didn't realize it until he was hit, and was about to attack the Land Rover, but his body was already pierced and fell to the ground. Boom. The students around also took a step back. After Liang Tong fell to the ground, Land Rover went to the manager and said, I will pay for the compensation I need for this fight. The manager saw that Land Rover used the fruit ability to kill Liang Tong so easily. The manager said, it's just a light bulb, no compensation. Pay attention when you come out, he has some background. Judging by your pace, physical skills should be good. It seems that you are not wearing a weapon. Do you want to find a weapon before going in? Quote. No. Thank you very much. Land Rover said and went in. The manager thought that the ability of the fruit was well developed, and he went in without a weapon, so he had such great confidence. What happened? Why did Liang Tong die? He didn't seem to attack. That's right, he died before launching an attack. Land Rover seems to use the ability of the fruit of gravity. What looks like? Remove the look. Am I so powerful? I actually killed Liang Bo with 2 moves. Do you know that Liang Tong was in the top 30 in Capital Middle School when he graduated and promoted? He actually managed to get Liang Tong done with 2 moves, so his strength. Should we call the police? Should he notify his family? Quote. If you want to call the police, you report. If you want to notify you, notify. In an instant, Land Rover entered the physical secret realm. Land Rover, who entered the secret realm of space, instantly felt the rules of this secret realm, which really restricted the ability to use devil fruit. I thought to myself that there are places in this world where devil fruit's ability cannot be used. His gravity fruit ability can't be used, but Haki can. And there are 6 styles, Dragon Claw Hand and Devil Wind Leg. There are many students in the safe area, some just came in, and some came back to rest. Then some students also came in, and they nodded friendly when they saw Land Rover. He is Lou Rover, and he killed Liang Tong outside. So Haki. I love it. Yes, so handsome. There are too few people who just do it directly when they are unhappy, and they don't know what their real strength is. Land Rover looked at the nearby personnel and found that 50% of them were ambulance personnel. It seems that this secret realm is really terrible. Hang up task, stay here after the summer vacation before going out. Rare rewards will be rewarded. With the voice of cheat spread to Land Rover. Outrageous, there are rewards for hanging up. Maybe there's something going on out there that you don't want to involve yourself in. To stay for a summer vacation, wow. If there is nothing particularly important, let's finish this reward. Lou Rover followed the students who came in ahead and went out. Brother Wuji, how powerful do you think the monsters inside will be? The monsters in the secret realm of the capital are too ugly. I hope the monsters here look better and not be so disgusting. Quote. You'll know it when you go out and see it, and we have to cooperate well, so don't be beaten like that guy just now. That's right, it's good to have a good appearance. I don't have any wishes, this is enough. You too, Nympho. There is such a handsome guy next to you, you don't even look at those monsters. Wuji said helplessly. By the way, I heard that there are 7 floors here. The monsters on each floor are different. Yes, be careful later. A large group of people came to the first floor and saw a lot of toad monsters, standing on their feet with a height of 1.6 meters, holding a bone as a weapon in their hands. Hey, it's still so ugly. Oh my god, what is that weapon? Is it a bone? Come on, find one to fight. And Land Rover saw that they went directly to fight the toad monster, and didn't want to participate at all, so they went straight ahead. Because the toads on the first layer are too stretchy, and they are green and oily, disgusting. In addition to hitting with bones, the attack also rolls you with your tongue. You can enjoy yourself here. No, you can exercise your ability to move and dodge. There were also a few toads that came to attack Land Rover. Land Rover was too lazy to just shave them and get past them. And these few times were seen. He's so fast. It's over in a flash. Who is he? I don't seem to have seen it before. And he came in alone. The people next to him also looked over and recognized that it was a Land Rover. However, he hit a roll. It looks like a Land Rover, don't look at it. Hit these up, it's disgusting. Quote. The group of people were discussing while dealing with Toad. The condition for clearing the first floor is to get 5 Toad weapons or not to be attacked by Toads so that you can go directly to the second floor. When he got here, he realized that there are still conditions to go to the second floor. After Lou Rover got some spiritual fruit rewards on the first floor, he slowly came to the second floor, where many students were there. But no one is recognized by Land Rover. Because most of them are from Capital Middle School. The monster on the second floor is the sheep-headed monster, standing 2 meters high on both feet, holding 3 pointed forks in his hand. The well-developed muscles in the hands and legs are a little scary to see. Seeing 3 people working together to attack a sheep-headed monster, they are all attacking the lower body together. Every attack has a good effect. And the other sheep-headed monsters didn't come to help. Just let it deal with 3 people by itself. Land Rover thought to himself what would be the conditions for this second layer. A sheep-headed monster came over and arrogantly walked in front of the Land Rover and said, "Here comes another one, let's see how good this one is." Wait for Land Rover to attack it. It turned out that the sheep-headed monster was playing with them. When a young man came up, it was his turn to go up, just like when we went to get a foot massage, which technician's turn was that technician. Land Rover took a look at it, not interested at all, just passed through a moonwalk, and came here on the 3rd floor. What's the situation? Was someone flying over just now? My god. Someone can fly in the physical realm. Outrageous. It's really outrageous. Come here and find that you need a water chestnut of the sheephead monster leader or just come here to pass the level. Land Rover got some water chestnut rewards and went up to the 3rd floor. There are fewer people on the 3rd floor. Only 10 people, 4 male groups, 3 male and 3 female groups. The monster on the 3rd floor is the bat. It was at the entrance of the secret realm of physical arts that he came out and said that he was attacked by bats to the position of the runner. Maybe he was in a group with those 4 guys. If you get hurt, run away. It seems that 10 people have been on this floor for a long time. I finally saw someone coming up, but it was only one person. Immediately thinking about letting him bear the attack of the bat, wait for the opportunity for them to attack. Someone shouted, "Brother, come and help. Let's kill the bats together. Brother, come here." The 4-member team hurriedly pulled Land Rover to let him join them. And the other group of people didn't mean to drag, but continued to cooperate by themselves. Fang Fang, you and Tong Tong will attack later, and I will continue to lure you. A boy came up with a plan, that is, they would continue to be bait and let the 2 girls attack. You don't need to do this, actually. Our attack is a bit broken, but you can also attack. Said a girl. In these rounds of attacks, the 2 girls took turns attacking, and the boys were beaten like this and waited for a chance to counterattack. But the effect is not great, because the bat first attacks with sound waves, and then attacks directly when the opponent is confused, flying over and grabbing with its claws. So it's hard to die here, unless you're sonicated. Anyone with a little sense can escape back. Land Rover also ignored the group of 4, but saw that the 2 girls were a little cute. The next time the bat launches a sonic attack, the next time the 10 of them are shaking their heads. Land Rover shaved it directly. The bat that just wanted to attack Land Rover was also dumbfounded. Land Rover came to the entrance of the 4th floor. I learned that the requirement to pass the level here is to get a bat's wings. There is no requirement to pass the customs directly by coming directly from the front. In an instant, Land Rover returned to the position it just entered. However, only Tong Tong noticed that the Land Rover disappeared for a while, and then reappeared, and no one else noticed. Did you see that he just disappeared? Tong Tong asked curiously. No. The other Fang Fang who wanted to attack also said no. Tong Tong wondered if she was dazzled. No, never saw him in school. Because Tong Tong is a cadre of the student union at school, so he has an impression of the boys in the school. She is also known as the most beautiful student union cadre. I thought to myself, who is he? Could it be from another school? After Fang Fang answered, she glanced over there. It seems to be a Land Rover, the one that was very hot before. What? You said he was a Land Rover. Boys are here too. Lu Rover was a little surprised by the eyes of the boys. What's so interesting about the same romantic? Never seen a handsome guy, have you? Yes, I have seen his appearance before, so I have an impression. But why did he come here, and he's still alone? Tong Tong asked in confusion. Who knows, he came here alone. Let's deal with the bat issue first, said a boy. The other group of 4 boys heard the conversation here. I thought to myself that this brat is Land Rover. The one who ate the gravity fruit after exchanging the Phantom Beast Devil fruit. One said, isn't it rumored on the internet that he was cowardly and afraid of death so he exchanged it? Let's seriously threaten him to come and take damage as a meat shield, and then we attack the bats. Quote. Looking at how handsome he is, it seems okay, let's go. Let's go over and try to threaten him. So 4 people came to Land Rover, and 4 people said to Land Rover, dude, look at you alone, join us and form a team to kill bats. The bats here are so powerful, you can't handle them alone. Join us, let's go together. Quote. Land Rover watched them silently. He heard what they said just now, this group of people are going to cheat him. You are stupid. Fang Fang saw that Lu Rover was being confronted by 4 people, so she said, how about we help him? After all, he is also a person who can awaken the Phantom Beast species. Being bullied by students in the capital when you come to the capital, it feels a little bad. Quote. Several boys said directly, no. It's not necessary. No need. It's better not to meddle in other people's business, they are not trying to bully him, but to form a team together. Fang Fang looked over with worried eyes. Tong Tong didn't speak, but quietly observed. The boys in their team saw the 2 beauties paying attention to Land Rover, and felt an indescribable feeling in their hearts. Jealous? No. I can't tell what it's like. Lu Rover ignored them, went directly to a corner and sat down, he didn't want to show his strength now. Anyway, the mission is to spend a summer vacation here by myself. 4 people followed him. After sitting down, Lu Rover covered his stomach and said, thank you for your invitation, I am not feeling well now, and my strength will drop a lot, so I won't hold you back anymore. Thank you so much, let's go and form a team together when we recover better. Quote. Land Rover wanted to watch them being bullied by bats, after all they hadn't killed a bat for so long. It will definitely not succeed in the future. Those 4 people looked at Land Rover and walked aside, ignored them, and rejected them because they were uncomfortable. Originally, one person wanted to go directly to threaten Lu Rover, but was stopped by the other person. The 4 of them went back to continue the previous operation. Land Rover just sat and watched their performance leisurely, especially watching the movements of the 3 beauties, that one is so beautiful. After sitting down, he also discovered some rules of this body art secret realm. The first layer exercises the speed of the adventurer, the second layer exercises the attack of the adventurer, and now the third layer is defense. Dodge the toad's tongue attack, the goat's attack, and the bat's sonic attack. Land Rover also sighed directly, how could it be so exquisite? After a while, the attacked person in the 4-member team couldn't take it anymore, and said directly, no, or I'll go back first. Or change someone to be attacked. Quote. And yes, he keeps getting caught by bats, and sometimes his partner's attack misses the bat and hits him instead. So those who endure the beating will get double damage. The main reason is that bats can fly, and their attacks are hard to hit. Bats are super easy to dodge and fall on the person being beaten. Land Rover also saw that their way was wrong. It's just that their way is to keep attacking bats, and they don't think of catching bats. You can do whatever you want after catching the bat, why not? They have to use attacks, it seems that they are not so smart. In other words, after relying on the fruit ability, but lack of brains. Land Rover shook his head. Liang Tong died at the entrance of the physical secret realm, and soon the Liang family came. After seeing Liang Tong's body, he was furious. Who is it? How dare you attack our Liang family? How unreasonable. Quote. The members of the Liang family were not calm after seeing it, and they all asked the people next to them. He directly grabbed the person next to him and asked, "Tell me, who did it?" At first they could hold back not to say anything. After a while, someone couldn't stand the coercion, so he still spoke out. It's the Land Rover who ate the fruit of gravity. The main thing is that Mr. Liang looks at each other. It was thrown out before it was finished. This man was thinking, I told you kindly, but you still threw me out, deserved it. Good to die. I only dared to think in my heart, but I didn't say it out of my mouth. Whoever of you is familiar with the physical secret realm, go directly in and clean up the Land Rover. Patriarch Liang said to the Liang family. However, they bowed their heads one by one. They can't do it just on the second floor, so how dare they stand out? How can a person who has long relied on fruit abilities get used to entering the secret realm of physical arts? It's really unlucky, there is no one. Patriarch, why don't we issue a reward so that those who enter the physical realm can have a try? No, it can't be like this. It's better for us to do it ourselves. Wait here for him to come out. See how long that kid can go in and stay inside. Patriarch Liang said affirmatively. Because he is well aware of the consequences of the reward order, which is to continue to offer rewards to each other, without end. Now is a dangerous time, and we must be consistent with the outside world. What he didn't know was how many lives he saved without offering a reward. The news that Land Rover killed Liang Tong slowly spread in the capital. After Xiao Yu found out, her thought was, someone is looking for death so soon. She knows that Lu Rover is not a messer, he will only act when someone provokes him. When I finish my work, I have to go to the physical arts secret realm to find him. The big leaders haven't paid attention to these little things. The third floor of the physical secret territory. After the man ran away, the group of 4 finally couldn't take it anymore, and the 3 of them also ran away. They didn't provoke Land Rover behind them, and they probably found that even if Land Rover was being beaten, they couldn't hit the rhythm of the bat. And the group of 6 people is still like that, but there is nothing they can do. Oh, I almost hit it. Hidden again. These attacks then fell on the boys. But these guys have such a good temper. Has been subjected to double attack without complaint. Because the girls' attacks are not accurate enough, whether they are thrown or forked, they often attack them. Land Rover is so funny looking at them. Finally, I couldn't help it once, the main girl's movement was so graceful, the graceful movement of throwing the projectile, and then hit the boy. Ha ha ha. Laughed out loud. The laughter was heard by several boys. They saw this and scolded. What's so funny? I'll beat you again. He also wanted to take his anger out on Land Rover. Seeing that Fang Fang wanted to protect herself just now, Lu Rover walked over and said, come on. This time, I will be optimistic. So the next round of bat attacks, after the sonic attack, they still flew over to catch them with their claws. Before the girl attacked, Land Rover seized the opportunity to reach out and grabbed a bat's leg. Then walked to the 4th floor, leaving behind a voice. Look, how simple is that? You can do whatever you want after you catch it. Quote. Land Rover was able to complete it without showing their strength at all, something they haven't done for so long. It's like those people were awakened directly, right? Why didn't I think of it? Are you so stupid? Tong Tong said. None of us thought wow. You have been attacking like this for so long. The main result is that you haven't attacked yet, and you have completed the kill. Said a boy. The remaining girl said, are you all ashamed to call yourself an elite? Talk about being an elite every day, are these things just spoken? Like those people they left, if you can't pass it, you can't pass it. After that, who cares whether you are an elite or not? Quote. The 3 boys directly lowered their heads, not daring to lift them up. You can't blame them, because didn't they also think of it? After all, after using the ability of the fruit, there will be dependence. When I come back to practice gymnastics again, it is inevitable that my mind will not be able to get back to the rhythm of gymnastics. And Tong Tong's thought was, wow. Is this man so smart? It's no wonder that the devil fruit will awaken the phantom beast species. Compared with us, it is simply abusive food, and there is no comparison. Just sit and watch for a while, and you will be able to think of a way. We have tried our best to find a solution. What a monster. Fang Fang's idea is true, he must have thought of it a long time ago. He didn't tell the other 4 people, but he told us. Could it be that he knew that those 4 people were unfriendly to him, so he just ignored them? She really guessed it right, mainly because she was thinking about Land Rover. Let Land Rover choose to help them. Land Rover doesn't care about their calculations, but for some bad-tempered people, they will be sent flying. Quick, let's all catch bats. But the bats saw them learning to catch them, and after being caught too, they couldn't catch them and they couldn't come to attack, they just played in the air. They can't fly, so they use throwing objects to provoke them to attack. Finally caught 6 bats. It's so difficult. Land Rover came to the 4th floor, walked in and took a look. Unlike the 1st to 3rd floors where there were many monsters, there were fewer monsters here. Or rather one, and no one else. How strange. Not long after, a man with a scar on his face came out slowly, holding a mace in his hand and putting it on his shoulder. He walked over and said fiercely, "Congratulations on coming to the 4th floor. To tell you the truth, I am a robber, and I can survive by leaving your belongings. Otherwise, come back with me as a coolie." Quote. Then he showed a ferocious look, and a lot of muscles appeared on his body. But this time its target is Land Rover, so it can't be intimidating at all. Land Rover walked over step by step, raised his head and said to it, "Are you really going to rob me? Are you sure?" Land Rover just walked over and said such a sentence. The bandit is also the first adventurer who has encountered such a reaction. Don't follow the rules at all. Don't dare. Scared it straight away. Don't even dare to rob. In fact, there is a little hockey in Land Rover's words, which acts as a deterrent. Land Rover passed the 4th floor just by opening a sentence like this. After the 6 of them went up to the 4th floor, they also faced robbers. After passing the Land Rover, the robber behaved even more viciously. They have different ways of facing each other, and it's hard to say whether they can pass the level. Fang Fang can't understand people who rob her, and those who don't want to rob her, but they actually rob her, and she is not afraid to attack her directly. The same goes for Tong Tong, who called directly without hesitation. You can tell at a glance that it is the rhythm of the test content. So they both passed. Another boy passed. Another girl got scared when she saw a person facing a robber. The other 2 boys faced the robber alone, and they were already scared when they saw each other's muscles and the ferocity on their faces. Maybe it was frightened by the words of what to do. Maybe it was hurt by a bat. Or maybe he was frightened by the appearance of the robber. Or maybe he is used to following someone and hugging his thighs, and it will be exposed when facing someone alone. The more afraid the adventurers on the 4th floor, the stronger the robbers will be. If you don't have any fear in your heart, you will pass the test with all your strength. And no matter how many people go in, they will face the robbers alone. It can be said that the elimination rate in this level is enough. There are not many on the 3rd floor, because of the flight, you need a high hit rate or catch it. The 3 of them who didn't pass the level went straight back to the safe zone. Also quickly find each other. It seems that the 3 of us have come out and have not passed the level. The 3 of them will pass. It seems that I have a lot of room for improvement. Hey, I haven't seen Land Rover either. Could he survive? If it doesn't come out, it must be. Hurry up and heal, you have suffered so many attacks. Quote. They are discussing and reflecting on the reasons why they have not done it. Did you also encounter robbers? Yeah. It said it would sell me to those places. You know I hate those other people the most. I don't want to fight when I see its muscles. Such horrible muscles. So big, it looks so cruel. Quote. It seems that they are all afraid of it, but have not passed the level. They must not be afraid of it, but have the courage to fight it. They slowly reflected on it. I also roughly know the reason for myself. You can't blame others, you can only blame your own mentality. The 3 people who passed the level met on the 5th floor, and waited for a while to see if they would come out and prepare to be together. Did you meet a robber? The boy asked. Well, it was solved in a few rounds. Dare to rob me. Only I can rob others. Fang Fang said. She robbed many male students on campus, and many male students voluntarily were robbed by her. Tongtong said. Haha. You still have the nerve to talk about robbing others. Are the male students in school less bullied by you? As soon as the robber came out, he knew it was a test, so he just hit him. It seems that they didn't fight, or for some other reason, they didn't pass the level. Quote. The two of them were also injured a lot, maybe their physical strength is not enough. She always follows us, but that's normal. Said the boy. Why didn't Land Rover come out? Didn't he have one? Fang Fang asked, thinking of Land Rover. I didn't see it, either it passed or it didn't pass. We don't know how strong he is. Let's go to the 5th floor now. Tongtong said. The boy felt a little lack of confidence when he saw that the two of them had passed the level of robbers with him. After all, it is a bit difficult for one to convince two. And there are 5th, 6th and 7th floors behind. They all got the rewards of the 4th floor, some spiritual fruits. Then walk to the 5th floor. Entering the 5th floor, it is not alone like the 4th floor, seeing how many people there are, but the challenges that everyone needs to face are individual. Probably one bed per person. There were about 10 people on this floor, and Fang Fang quickly saw the location of the Land Rover, and she was sure that the Land Rover was also coming up. She walked over to the position next to the Land Rover, and stepped up to meet the challenge. Thanks for watching.